We're live.
Good job.
We
Good
got
lead-in.
eight people viewing, so I said I was going to lead us off. We got Rich here.
What up?
We got Posh, and Posh has some information he wants to share with everybody, and we're going to give you guys the rundown on what we got brewing here.
Yeah, it's getting hot in here. I might have to take my sweatshirt off
It is
pretty
warm
soon.
in here, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
it was a little toasty. I didn't think about that
So,
beforehand.
Way to go,
Because
Frank.
Frank's
Good
here.
job, Frank.
Thanks,
All right,
Frank.
way to go. Shut the door. Don't let it hit you in the ass. No, don't shut it. It's hot in here. So anyway, as Brandon D Robes over here, this podcast is all about privateers, as you can see, and the efforts that we're all making and trying to make in road racing today. Brandon is probably just put that on the light. Why don't you?
Yeah, right over the light.
Brandon is well versed in the road racing privateer, whatnot, and then big teams and so on and so forth. And obviously, we're rodeo racing. We are a privateer team. So, that being said, what do you guys say, Brandon?
Yeah, like Kev Dog's saying, I've been riding for factory teams, not so factory teams, privateer, smaller efforts, and it looks like we're joining rodeo racing. We're going racing, Loudon Classic, 102nd edition going on, oldest running race in America, and we're going to go lunch money hunting again. It's been a couple years. We missed the boat last year due to some situations I was in, but we're back. We're ready to go racing. We're going to put our best foot forward. We've been doing some testing. Me and Gus have both been training. We've been riding a lot, and we're getting ready. We're going to show up there and try to give these boys the work.
Yeah, I mean, Posh already rode for rodeo racing in the Loudon Classic before, just kind of like it was a
that
good
was
effort.
the 7-day
but
challenge.
Yeah, right. So
Yeah.
he only had a week to get things together. I was there spectating. This year I'll be on the bike, which is cool. I'm doing two classes, Street Fighter, which everybody's seen the Street Fighter build, which is pretty sweet. Everyone loves it. It's fast. It's a good bike. And then my V2. So it was cool. It's been cool to ride with Posh a little. I mean, we've been riding together for over a decade now, which is pretty crazy. So, but it's been cool to ride the same machines and, learn from. Well, I'm more learning from him, but I'm sure there's something you've learned, right? Like.
Yeah, dude, my entry speed was dog shit. I learned that.
Yeah, I was
quick.
faster. I was faster into the corner. So.
Yeah, so that was Summit last weekend. Obviously, we'll
yeah.
let them know that we all, I guess I got the phone call, like or the lead in somehow, right?
Yeah,
And because Brandon was having a little bit of misfortune with lining up a team to run the classic, and I was watching his posts on Facebook, and I'm like, man, it's looking at my watch. I'm like, it's
Kev
a
Dog knew
matter
what was
of
coming.
It was like
time.
watching a car accident.
Yeah,
You just
I'm
couldn't
like,
look away.
it's a matter of time, right? So then I woke up that next morning and I saw, the night before I saw your post that said, anybody wants to put together the effort, because you're shameless, which is
yeah.
great. And you have to be. You have to be in
gotta
this
just
industry.
go out and get it.
Yeah.
Next morning
So
was,
next morning,
"What up, Kev
Yeah,
Dog?"
there's a text on my there's a missed call, right? And then there's a text, "What's up, Kev Dog?" And so of course my response was, "Yeah, I've been thinking about it. I'll call you this afternoon and we'll work it out." And then
Well, actually, he came into my office,
yeah,
and
yeah.
he was like, first words were like, "Would you want Brandon to be your teammate for a weekend?"
Absolutely
well,
not.
At first, we were talking about doing Road America to test too, which it's kind of a lot of money to go test. So we decided to go race CCS and Azra, and
I'm kind of glad we did it, honestly, because it's raining there. Weather looks shitty.
it was nice today, but.
Yeah, so for all
Yeah,
you
you wanted to
TDJU,
know-
all the TDJU folks that are watching, just we're not in Road America, clearly, and we're not afraid of the rain. We're just not going.
I mean, I am kind of afraid of the rain a little
well,
bit.
yeah, of
but,
course.
You know.
Not me. I love
Yeah,
the rain.
no, it was kind of like whatever. But yeah. So we were at Summit last weekend, testing, racing, whatever, and it was pretty good. I felt good on the V2, and Posh is kind of you're figuring it out, and it's kind of a little bit of a different animal, the big twin, and throwing that thing around. But we got going pretty good by the second day, and
both
was-
within a second of the lap record.
We were within
like
four,
4 or 5 tenths of the lap record,
Yeah,
which is pretty
Yeah.
solid, for just jumping on the thing for me, and for Gus, getting back to Summit after a few years off. I think we're already like 10 steps ahead of the program we had the last
Oh,
time.
the previous time, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was
Yeah.
coming in just 3 months after breaking my back, and
Yep.
we literally built the bike the weekend before the race.
Yeah, we
rode it
were. Where
once.
were we? That the Brandon's like, hey,
You were lucky
I
it
got-
rained too.
yeah.
Yeah.
He goes, I got somebody who's going to donate a R6, and I'm like, okay, where is it? And he's like, it's somewhere in North Carolina. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going home that way. I wasn't going home that way. I ended up 6 hours out and back. So we got the bike, and literally in 7 days we prepped it. It was less than 7.
Yeah,
right?
it was like
Prep
two,
is an
2 or
understatement.
3.
Yeah, bro. We just
Just about rebuilt
threw
the whole
everything we
thing.
had, at it, and
And that was kind of a nightmare too. Like first practice, the shock blew out or
Yeah.
something stupid,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
it was just
Yep.
like one thing after the next.
yeah. So we had like zero preparation going into that,
And
we
no
had no
spare
business
parts.
being there. I'll be
Yeah.
honest with you, we shouldn't have been there.
No, we should not have
But
done
who
that.
cares? Who cares? That's what this is all about, right?
Hey, we almost won though.
We did. We
almost
wait,
won
one
that
of the, one
thing.
of the finishes we finished.
Second.
First, second.
Yeah, and
And
one of
then
the 17. One of the 17
Yeah.
finishes. Yeah, yeah. So
That whole
So, yeah,
weekend
so that was,
a disaster.
that was a good time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it wasn't too fun. I feel like in the moment, but like looking back on it, it was a pretty crazy story of just like doing all that in such a short amount of time and then getting a pretty solid result and like
Yeah.
Yeah.
showing everybody that I can still be competitive after a big injury like that was pretty cool for me.
Kev,
Yeah.
have you ever worked on an R6 before then?
No,
Because I haven't.
no, I never touched one. No,
And
well,
you haven't touched one since.
Yeah.
No,
I
no.
hope never to
No.
touch one again.
And I mean, the main reason, probably one of the bigger reasons, obviously, I wanted to help Brandon.
Now you guys work on Ducatis. Isn't that good?
V2s, right? Yeah.
So much easier.
So I mean, and this season I wanted to help Brandon, but we didn't have a backup bike, right? So originally, right, and then that whole thing with the whole Street Fighter came into play, where I'm like, well, now we have a backup bike that we can, if we have 3, right? So now we know we've got full backups and full spares if we need it, God forbid. But yeah, that was part of my deterrence before.
Not
was
if
like
we
I
take
could,
each other out.
not, well, we don't want to do that either, because then we're going home.
I almost did that at Summit.
Yeah,
POV.
yeah,
There's a
he almost took
POV.
me out.
I was
Yeah.
plowing into the back of him. And
Yeah.
the first lap of that one race as well. Stuffing you into 5.
Oh yeah, but I knew it was coming, so I just moved out of the way.
Yeah, so it was cool. I mean, once we got that Street Fighter thing, but that's the funny story behind the Street Fighter was John Grush from, I don't know if I told you this, from NEMRR Loudon had called and said, hey, you guys going to enter? And I said, yeah, we're getting there, just getting around to it. And he said, you should really race that, the Street Fighter class. And I said, well, if you got a Street Fighter, I'll do it, right? If you're donating a Street Fighter, I'll absolutely do it. And then we left the conversation. Literally 2 days later, I got the call about that Street Fighter sitting at an impound yard in Philadelphia for $2,200. So I jumped on that, and then we built the Street Fighter. We got less than 10 grand into that whole build. So it's like,
Yeah.
it was a no-brainer. So now
Well,
we can
now you have a little more.
now
'cause
we have more because it was overheating regularly. So we got the whole H2O set
Yeah.
up for that. But we hate money. So what are you gonna do?
That's just
Couldn't-
racing motorcycles in general.
Yeah,
just spend as
exactly.
much money as you possibly can.
The testing on the Street Fighter has been like 6 hard laps, and then come into pit lane and
Yeah.
have the leaf blower on the thing, and then 6 hard laps. But now now I think we could go all day on the thing.
I hope so.
How
We'll
many
see.
laps is the
Dude, it's only
Street Fighter race?
10 laps.
Is it 10?
Yeah.
Damn.
The thing was, it was just like it would just get to the temperature where it was like kind of
On the edge.
Yeah, like about. I mean, the one time I came in, I had some fluids, so I was like,
Yeah.
we're gonna wrap that up. But the Street Fighter is cool. It really is a good bike. Big supermoto, big fun. Gives you a good forearm workout, and trying to hang on to the thing, and it makes the regular V2 a little bit easier to ride, in my opinion. So
You
Well,
do a lot
don't
of
give that
forearm
away.
workouts, huh?
Don't start. don't start. Control yourself, please.
it's gonna be a long weekend.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
we still got 2 weeks of this before we even get going.
Yeah, we've
so.
been training together a lot, actually. I mean,
Yeah.
I've done more riding. Like, obviously, I'm not following the Moto America schedule this year, so you would think I would have a lot of downtime, but it's kind of been the complete opposite. I've been riding more this season than I did probably in the last 2 years combined. So it's done a lot for me, and get to do some laps with Posh, and we're always chasing each other on the Supermoto, or we're chasing each other on the Ducatis, and it's nice to be able to trust somebody you're training with to an extent, and have fun.
Are you coming
Yeah.
to New York next weekend?
I have work on Saturday, so I might make it out for Sunday. But I really don't want to go race. Like, you know what I mean? Like everybody else is
Yeah.
out there riding, and then I'm gonna just show up and race. Like, I want to go though because that track looks pretty
It
crazy.
does look good.
But
The track does look crazy in New York.
I might make it out for Sunday. Maybe do the race, and then Tuesday we have to head up to Loudon because we're
Yeah.
gonna do the
track days, yeah.
track days
Yep.
beforehand with
Was
Pe-
it
Penguin School, yeah, Penguin.
School.
We're very fortunate to have to Eric to have us in, and
Yeah.
you guys will be coaching some days there. I don't know what their attendance looks like, but yeah, I don't know how they structure that, but I know you guys will be doing some coaching for the Penguin riders that are there. That should be a good time.
Yeah, it's good to also like be having that before the weekend because we don't ride there very often, and it's
No.
very
No, I haven't been there.
it's a very technical track. Like a lot of little nuances to it that isn't the same as anywhere else, with like the bumps and cracks and just the little things at that place. And
Yeah, there's
it's good
like
to get more
little
time.
there's like little tricks here and there too at that place. It's like one of those tracks where
The locals have the
lo-
advantage.
right, locals have the advantage. I mean, the Moto America guys still come and beat everybody, but locals have an advantage to an extent. But I mean, when it comes time to go as fast as the bike can possibly go around a circuit, and you can only go so fast. So
Yeah, I mean you got Insane Shane out there just tearing it
Yeah.
up,
Yeah,
yeah,
Eli
yeah, I'm sure he'll be there.
Eli
He'll
is
be there.
good.
Yeah.
tearing some boots up.
Eli's
you know?
doing the Street Fighter race and the big
Oh,
race
nice.
too. Yeah,
What-
Is he on an actual Ducati Street Fighter, or is he
No,
on
he's
an
KTM.
outlaw?
KTM.
Or outlaw
that won't
hooligan.
last the race.
Well, hopefully, fingers crossed that he makes it through the race, through the KTM.
That's what you were trying to ride.
Yeah,
right?
I still there's a KTM that I potentially could ride, but it's pretty much stock. So I'm like, do I
Just
spend the money to
collect
go
the
do
money.
it or no?
Just collect
What
the
is it?
money.
An 890?
890, but it's like
Eli
don't
did
know.
a 19 on he did so. For example, I guess I don't know. Loudon in the rain is kind of sketchy,
yeah,
and Eli
Very.
did like a 19 in the rain on that KTM last time he was there. So
Wow.
if it rains, he's coming.
Gus hates to see the rain coming. If it rains at Loudon, you're gonna shit a brick.
Dude, if it
Yeah.
rains at Loudon, I'm gonna be shitting.
Remember
myself.
everybody was spinning up over start finish?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that was so sketchy, especially
exactly.
off those
Oh, the paint.
restarts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's scary. Scary there.
But the
right?
one I
Yeah.
got the whole shot on one of them, and I started third, so I was way on the outside. So I had a little run up before I got to the paint, where like Tyler and PJ were in front of me, and they were starting like in the paint. So when they let the clutch out, they were just spinning over, where I got like a run.
Yeah. Maybe third place is the place to start from.
Yeah, and the white lines there, like coming out of the corners, because they have like the striped lines like coming up the banking and shit.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
that was
yeah.
so slick. It was catching people out. I don't know how they didn't catch on to like, hey, if you just go not where the white lines are, there's like a little bit of grip, but you touch the paint and you're on your ass. And these guys would just keep going right over the paint.
It's not FIM approved paint.
No.
Neither is any of the runoff or safety barriers or anything else about that place.
I think the FIM would probably faint if they went there.
Yeah, dude.
The
So
FIM would
gnarly.
just shit themselves on entry of the track. Pull through the tunnel.
It's crazy that that race has been going on for 100 years.
Yeah.
102, right?
102 years
Yeah.
this year. That's
Same
insane.
pavement.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, probably the same
pavement
asphalt
now.
still. Well,
That's a lot of
apparently,
years.
so my uncle was telling me like last week, apparently the track used to be across the street from where it is now.
Really?
Really?
And they like moved the track. Yeah. And, like,
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either
Yeah.
till like 3
good,
days ago.
Good tidbit of knowledge.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy though.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what are your thoughts? What do you think?
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm pretty fired up. I got to ride the bike and like got some good laps and ripped around with Gus. And I think like for me being so big and coming off the super bike, like that thing's gonna be pretty easy for me to throw around for 25 laps. You know, I'm not really worried about that.
You should be. It should be easy for you coming
Yeah.
off of the superbike. Yeah.
Yeah, just because like I don't know, even Daytona this year like felt way easier than normal. I don't know why, but the 200 just felt easy this year. I was in really good shape like coming out of the off season and wound up getting that call up to go race the 200 and like the end of the race I felt like I could do it again. Where like last year when I raced it, I was beat at the end of it. So
I was
quite a
beat at the
contrast
end
from
of
him.
it. Dude. Rich came into my van. I was sitting in my van, just Oh my
laying
God.
down in the dark.
Well, I don't wear earplugs, so
yeah.
Well, between that and then also like if you don't have your hydration and your like energy sources dialed before the 200, I know how bad you hurt at the end of that thing, dude. Like the
Yeah.
tops of your knees were probably
Right.
so cooked,
just from just sitting in the tuck, like
and your brain.
it was just my ears. Really, honestly, my ears were just destroyed.
Well, that plays a lot on your equilibrium.
Yeah.
It screws with your brain big time.
Well, even with earplugs
Yeah.
in at the 200, like
Your
the
ears
2 times
still
that I
ring.
won it, like you're going so fast for so long that when you like stop and like you have a couple beers after the race and like some food and shit, you like start unwinding.
Still going.
Dude, your
You're still-
brain
you're
is
still
like,
going. Yeah.
yeah, everything's
yeah,
off.
it's still going like 180 miles an hour. Yeah, hang on real quick.
We got some.
Nate says
Chris-
hello. Chris says hello.
Ryan Rawls is in here. Chris Simcoe said, "What's up?"
What up, Chris?
And Nate said, "What's up?"
Nate? Oh,
Mhm.
Nate.
Yo, Vay was here.
What
Oh
up,
yeah,
Nate?
Vay
What's
said,
up,
"What's
Vay?"
up?" too.
Yeah. A lot of all stars though watching the podcast.
And
tonight.
Artie's here.
Already said we're late.
Artie Camaro.
Rich, do me a favor.
Yo,
Put your chair up because you look like a little baby.
like the
sit-
bottom up?
No, pull the little lever so it
Yeah.
comes up.
And put your bottom up,
So you
Rich.
look
Come on.
kind of like a grown up. Keep going. Go all the way up with it. There we go.
Oh.
All right, there we go.
I gotta sit in the high chair.
There you go. Sit like a big boy.
Alright.
So big.
Rich with the J's on right now,
Yeah,
killing
you
it.
know.
They
So
match
for
his
those
car.
of you, that don't know, Rich is our mechanic with rodeo racing, and Frank's behind the camera over here. He doesn't want to be on the shot.
Frank needs a shave.
Frank does need to shave. Don't.
No emotion out of this guy.
He's like, who, me?
It's like just shut up and get back
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah. So anyway, we're all here. I was hoping actually we possibly take a buzz down to Jersey next weekend. If I could talk to the folks down there.
If we get a thumb break.
Oh, that'd be sick.
I'm not buying a thumb brake. Be happy I bought the radiator. See, this is part of the podcast, right? Privateer podcast, right?
Part-time privateer.
Part-time privateer podcast. This kid's like, gonna get a thumb brake, right?
I'm sitting
You
here.
know?
I'll ride anything.
Brandon's like, yeah, give me a scooter with friggin'
Yeah.
17s on it and slicks. I'm going.
Yo,
Kev,
yeah.
we have a supermoto race next weekend. NJ Mini GP.
Oh, that's right.
Hey, but
is that both days?
I'll come to NJMP, Kev Dog.
So Saturday is what, the track day?
Saturday is practice.
Okay.
And Sunday is race. Brand new track, New York Safety track.
So maybe they have Friday. They usually do a lot of Friday,
Hey,
Saturday,
man.
Sunday things. If they
I'll
have
take
Friday
off.
open, you're gonna lose your job over this, you know.
I need to go
Careful.
race.
He
I
might-
appreciate my
Careful.
job. I appreciate all of that, but racing is that's
Oh
my thing,
shit! You know
know?
what? That reminds me.
I'll do anything.
That
to race.
Hang
reminds
on.
me.
Not
Bob
anything,
Flem said,
but-
"What's up?"
Bob's here.
Squirrely
Squirrely
Steve said,
Steve's
"What's
here.
up?"
Steve Dupree's here. What's up? So that reminds me. We all actually owe you a little bit of money.
No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't.
No.
No,
Oh,
he's-
yeah, you do. I
we
forgot
do.
about
It's
that.
the right thing
No,
to
we
do.
don't.
It's the
Yeah.
right thing to
No,
do.
He's
It's the
got to
right.
go 6 months. He's only at 3. And
No,
No, I
he's,
still win.
No,
I'm
who
the
said
highest bidder.
He's the
No,
who
he-
said 6
he-
months?
he did, but you have to actually.
Oh, so that's the last facet.
Right,
the last
exactly.
facet of the bid
exactly.
was your deadline.
It has
to
So,
be
so you have
realized.
to actually make it because
Yes.
it's like the Price is Right. Whoever guesses it without
Hey,
going over.
Bitch, I'm the
Right.
closest.
You are so far, but
So
you're not
far,
6
you're the
months.
closest,
so you
but
got to
you're
be
not
6 months.
safe yet because
So-
you gotta be.
Hey, this whole job thing does kind of throw a wrench in the works, man. I'm out here just trying to get some laps in.
Yeah,
and,
tell me about it.
yeah,
I
Rich
tell
knows.
I tell my boss that my job's getting in the way of my motorcycle career.
And
Gus
what's he- and
tells
what's
his
he say?
boss to piss off, and he just
Huh?
leaves.
He doesn't have a boss.
yeah.
He has a guy that pays for
You're the
shit, but
boss.
doesn't have a boss, an actual boss. So anyway, the bet was getting back to that.
Yo,
before
hang
we
on
let
a
it go.
sec, Kev.
What?
Did you put my bike inside?
Oh shit! No, I didn't.
Well, you're
It's
gonna owe
still
me
outside.
about $12,000.
I'm not gonna owe you nothing. No, I owe you nothing. You
Kev-
owe me a stapler.
Kept I'll ride that thing.
$30 stapler versus
It
a
was more than that. It was more
$12,000
than that.
350.
Yeah, but it's the principle. Okay.
So what happened was, hang on, let's talk about this for a
Here
second.
we go.
So what happened was, I used a stapler for a seat cover. Okay, here at the office. We're in the office. We're at Spellcaster right
So you
now.
brought it to the office.
I brought it,
It was
to the
originally
office.
at the shop at the house.
It was originally at the shop at the
Go
house. On Tuesday, I installed a seat cover for somebody. Tuesday night, surely Steve's here. Tuesday night, I got on the road to South Carolina. I didn't have time to bring the stapler back. Okay. Kev wants to put a golf cart seat on. He needs a stapler. He calls me. I said, yo, the stapler is at the office, right? All pissed off. He takes my brand new.
No. Stop right there,
What is
dude.
it? What is it?
You said quote unquote. So there's one thing about saying the stapler's at the office. It would have been another if you would have said, "I'm sorry, I left it there." But you said, "What did you say?"
I said, "Yo," I
You
said,
"Yo,
"Be
yo,
thankful
no,
you're
no."
alive.
Yeah, you
Go
said
get the stapler."
You said, "No, no." He goes, "Take it down a notch, Chief. Okay,
Yeah,
take it
okay.
down
He
a
left that
notch.
part
Take
out.
it down a notch."
Is there anything wrong with
so,
that?
So
Nothing.
elevates the situation, and then he's like, "Just be happy you're alive. All right, be thankful you're alive." Right. So I'm like, this one of them. I swear to God, I'm ready to kill this kid. Right. So
And I wouldn't have been alive.
yeah. Right. So then.
So then he takes my brand new 2024 KTM 350,
Which is covered in
and-
mud in the shop because you were too lazy to wash it. Go on.
Sounds like Big Bird's 125 all over
And-
again.
and he puts it out front of the shop basically at the street, so anybody
No, it
coming
wasn't
by
at the
can come and
street.
steal it. And then he proceeds to leave the house.
And I sent him the picture of his
You
bike.
can't see it.
He put that bike inside.
He put it inside.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I mean,
I
he
said-
would have. If that thing would have gotten stolen, what would you have done?
Not buy you another
I
one.
wouldn't have bought you another one. You,
You
said
would've-
you
you
insured
would've
it.
You
felt
would have
bad, though,
felt
right?
damn bad.
I would have felt
about it.
horrible,
You
but I
would've
would have
felt
said, you know what?
horrible.
I'll trade you your bike for my stapler.
What I tell you? What did I tell you?
You can keep the stapler.
Yeah, that
Hey,
is a
Kev
joke.
Dog, you just
Yeah.
wait till he finds out.
Wait till he finds out the rest of the story
Yeah.
because it's still pending.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it's fine. Go ahead. But
What's
anyway,
the rest of the story?
What's that? I'm sorry.
What's the rest of the
No,
story?
it's for the next podcast. We'll talk about it on the
Wait,
next
so
podcast.
why did the golf cart need a seat to begin
Because the
with?
back seat didn't match.
Oh my
We had the new
God,
seat,
bro.
and it was ripping from all the.
It probably still doesn't match. It's a different shade
Yeah,
of
probably.
red
It's
and
the
black.
it's the exact same. It's the exact same seat on the front, which is not the right red, but at least the seats match. But anyway, can we get back to Brandon's the bet?
Screw
right?
Brandon. Forget about him.
So here at Spellcaster, which is also GRG Designs, which is the Gus's vinyl business. We have a dry erase board in the back
And Rodeo Performance.
and Rodeo Performance, yeah, which is forthcoming.
Yeah, I'm gonna get hired soon.
You are. So
And fired.
so we have this. I guess In and Out, right? Maz has been here. Who else is on the board?
Oh, you want me to go down the list? Because I think I know everyone.
Yeah,
All
so
right,
anyway,
it's-
hold on before let me lead it in. So what happened was we heard Brandon got a job, right? Brandon got an actual job where he has to go somewhere and work. So
Crazy.
for some reason, with the crazy friends that he has and the crazy clique of people that we surround ourselves with, we have a dry erase board in the back that has at least 10 or 15 signatures of who's placing bets on how long
it's
Brandon will last at this job.
$10 in the pot.
It was
yeah.
$10. It was $10 to get in, and
Go
it
take
was
a picture
how
of the sign,
long?
yeah.
How long is Brandon gonna go at this job? And it was anywhere from 3 days to 30 days. To I think
I was the highest one. I
You
said
were- he
6
said
months.
No,
6
it was
months.
it was like 3 business days to 6 months.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
but-
him,
But
him being the 6
nobody
months.
was
The
anywhere
gap-
over 2 months.
Yeah, nobody was over 2 months
No.
except for me. I was
Yeah.
the only one that bet
Yeah.
I'd be.
But when you start a new job and you immediately think you're only going to be there for 6 months, that's so bad.
Yeah, that was
well, I was kind of hoping like within those first 6 months I'd get a ride, and then I'd just be like, all right, I'm all in. I'm going racing again. You know.
Yo.
I hope your employer isn't watching this.
Hey,
For real.
sorry, LJ and Rich, if you are watching this, I love you guys. I love working there, but damn it, I need
LJ
to
and
race.
Rich, LJ
Yeah.
and Rich, I got your stickers cooking soon. You heard it here.
So anyway, so yeah, I mean, you can give him a shout out. I mean, Motorcycle Mall, right?
Yeah, Motorcycle
Right?
Mall.
Yeah,
You're
they're good
talking
folks.
to the main head of marketing guy over here.
Yo, Motorcycle Mall, on a real note, though, is like the largest motorcycle dealer.
In the tri-state.
Yeah, it's like
huge.
Oh
They
my
got
God.
all kinds of
Everything
have
you
two
can
dealerships.
imagine.
You could imagine.
Like you walk in there and you could literally want anything from a side by side to a jet ski.
He's rolling it in.
Oh, here it comes.
Dude,
All right.
If the back of
Whoa,
that
whoa,
board
watch
gets
the
on there-
camera.
Drive-by, let's drive by.
Watch the cameras, Frank.
Look at the back of the board.
All right, so
What is that?
can you see
That's
it?
some
All right,
weird
so
drawing.
This is the.
I thought that was something else on the back
All
for a
right,
second.
so I'm gonna go down the list here. Brandon started 225
Wait,
or
hold on,
or
hold on,
March
hold on.
3rd.
225. I started in February before Daytona.
All right, 225, and the SR is Scott Reel from Luckstar VIP. KD is Kev Dog, 26 days. GR, that's me. I said he would last until I figured he was going to win the 200 and then quit. So
That would have been so
I
sick.
said, yeah. So I said 315. Frank, that's Frank. He said 5 business days. That's Rich. He was March 6th.
That was before the 200.
Yeah, right before the 200. There's Posh says 6 months. Anthony Mazziato says 2 months, if not fired. That's Kaylee, Maz's girlfriend. She said 14 days. Jimmy said 1 week, and my girlfriend said 3 weeks.
Wow, some friends I've got here.
Pull that out of here.
Who needs enemies with friends like these?
Yeah, exactly. We got nobody had any faith that I would make it.
So what
This
happens if
long.
you win? If you win the Loudon Classic and you get the it's whatever you guys do your thing. Are you going back to work on Monday or what?
Well, I might be hungover on Monday if I win the classic, so I might have to go back on Tuesday. But I'll be going back to work for sure.
Yeah, that's smart.
I was planning on working this year regardless whether I had a superbike ride or not. So
Smart.
I mean, it would suck. Like now that I've been working enough, like, and I get this whole work thing, it's not ideal to be racing and working.
No
Like you have
shit.
no time to do anything. But
Yeah.
I mean, that was my plan, was because like last year I was racing for free pretty much. Like, so I kind of needed to have a job this year anyways to be like making money and be able to go race. But now I just need to make money to live.
No, yeah. I mean, in general, like, working seems like it brings in more money than racing. You know what I mean? Racing's kind of like spending the money.
Well,
And
yeah.
there's a couple of people that are making money racing only, and there's some
Not
people
many.
that are
A
not.
couple
So
is probably accurate.
yeah, there's a
Two.
couple.
Two.
There's a few probably.
Which, racing anything, if you want to make a fortune, you start with a big one.
Hey
or
man,
whatever.
I don't want to be that guy, but I made more money racing that bagger, and I only did one of the 2 races than I made all season last year.
Yeah.
How crazy is that? I did one weekend
Yeah, I
filling
mean-
in for somebody, made more money than I made all year last year.
Kev, it might be time to find a bagger.
Easy.
Come on,
Yeah,
Kid
but the
Bug.
bagger money comes from, like, the companies.
Uh-oh.
Can me and Lexi come crash?
What?
Nat wants to crash the podcast and Lexi.
Yeah.
Yeah, come crash the podcast because it's going to be over by the time you get here.
Yeah. They were out at, where'd they go? Sweetwater?
I don't know.
I think they were Sweetwater.
Me and Rich had a beautiful date tonight.
Yeah.
I saw that. I saw.
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
Fogo de Chao.
Fogo de
Oh,
Chao
Very
in Philly
nice. Yeah.
Yo.
in the Supra.
Yep.
Yeah,
He
I
took
saw
me-
you
he
pull
picked
one
me
out.
up. Yeah, he picked me up in the Supra, took me to dinner.
Mhm.
I went to ice cream
What's
after.
next? Where you going next?
We'll head back
a little,
to the house.
little
after
trip to the
this.
Hojo?
The what?
Get a room.
Howard Johnson's.
I don't even know what that means.
Nah, it was good
Hojo
though.
is Howard Johnson. It's a hotel.
Oh, is that a hotel?
Yeah, she
don't
said
know
they
that?
went to Sweetwater.
Nah,
Oh boy.
never heard of it.
Oh boy. Okay. Who's drinking? I heard that.
A little
Anyway.
ASMR for all the people out there.
These are ASMR mics.
So what else we got? Stop.
What else we got, Rich? What's new with you, man?
Oh shit! You know what? We really need to plug the hell out of NJ Mini GP. That's
Yeah.
right. It's back, folks. NJ Mini GP is
GP's
back.
I won all 3 of my races last weekend.
Whoa.
Stock 125 heavyweight. F1,
Who was the other podium contenders in
And,
Motard?
Supermoto? Or
You won the
Motard.
Supermoto class?
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
he did.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It was a little
work.
light that weekend, so if you think you can beat me on a Supermoto, pull up New York Safety Track next weekend.
Did you hear that?
Should we
Pull
go
up.
bump him off the
I
podium?
can guarantee you, if you're over age 25, you're not going to beat me on a stock 100.
You're lucky I'm 24.
Honestly, I
Over
was
the
giving
age
you
of
the work on the
25?
stock
Didn't
125s last
didn't
time.
Maz just turn 25?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
got
we
Maz.
should
I
I
bring
got
him out.
Maz on a stock 125. I
Oh,
think.
please.
Oh no, you don't.
Dude, yeah.
No,
No,
you
you
do
Maz
not.
will crash you and himself to get that.
Yeah, it's been a while. Maz's a boat guy now.
It'd
Yeah.
be riding
Yeah,
the
he
wall
goes
at
100
safety
miles
track.
an hour in his boat.
Yeah,
he
he's
ain't
got-
afraid to go 45 miles an hour on a
Yeah,
TTR.
he's got C legs. You don't have TTR on 25 legs.
Oh my god.
Nate says this guy.
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, right? Who is this guy, Rich?
So anyway, Marcello picked up,
Yeah.
where Nate and Ryan and those guys all left off
Yeah.
with NJ Mini GP. We're very thankful to have that back.
Marcello's really
He is
working his ass
really
off.
working his ass off.
It's a
Yeah.
full-time gig, So, like,
Yeah.
it's not like a half-ass effort. Not that it ever was,
No,
right? Because
no.
it takes a lot to do it. But like you really know that he's putting a lot of effort in because he has nothing else. So
Yeah.
if this,
Well, that's not true. I mean, if he
no,
wanted
no,
to get another
right,
gig, if he wanted
exactly.
another job, he'd
no,
get
no,
another
no.
job.
I'm saying
yeah.
like for the time being, he's
Yeah.
putting all his attention.
putting
Yeah.
everything into it, for
Everything
sure.
he's got, he's putting into it. So that's why it's like when you support Mini GP, it's like Marcello. I think he's doing a good job.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's something because
It's a big risk.
Yeah, it's a huge risk.
Yeah.
And you know what? It shows a lot about where he came from, right? To want to do that, to want to get back into it. Because I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? If we weren't doing Moto America like we were doing, as crazy as it was, you know, I would have probably said, hey, let's take a shot at this and pick up where those guys left off, because it needs to happen. It can't go away. It has to happen for these young riders.
That's where we all started.
Yeah, it's where we all started. I mean, it's where you got Maz, Gus, Joe Lamondre, Marcello, Easy used to ride there, right?
Yeah.
Ben
Xavier Zayat,
Smith,
Ben Smith.
Xavier. Who else? Who
Was
else?
Ben
came
a
through?
Scott.
MotoGP kid?
Ty
Ben,
Scott.
Ty Scott came through. Yeah, a lot of riders got their start with Mini GP. And
Kayla?
Kayla Yakov.
She didn't get her start with Mini GP.
No, she was.
But she did a lot of the races though. She did.
some.
Yeah, she
of
did
them,
a bunch of
but
them.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
Juju?
Juju, yeah,
Juju
Julian
did get
Correa.
his start.
Yeah, he
Juju
did.
used to live in New Jersey.
Yep. And then
And
they took the branch down to Florida.
My first weekend at Mini GP, I don't even think you were there. I had just gone to see what it was all about. That was
Stumpy.
yeah, with Stump.
Yeah.
That was Juju's first weekend too.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know. I thought he came
I
in
mean
later.
he might have done a practice day or whatever. But I'm pretty sure that was his first race and my first race. I sent him
Yeah.
a picture the other day. It came with my memories and it was funny. That's 11 years ago was my first race.
Yeah, I
So-
saw that. But yeah, I mean, it's where so many riders started. It's where the train the basics, go back to the basics, and it's like, I think there's gonna be a little lull for a couple of years that it went kind of.
Yeah.
So riders coming up and through, you were guaranteed to see one Mini GP rider coming through every year, at least one.
Yeah, for
I
a little
think
while.
there's
That-
like a generation gap.
Yeah,
now
there's gonna be a little gap there. Yeah.
where there's not that many kind of coming in yet.
I mean, yeah. At the same time, though, like Mini GP, so obviously, like we made our way through Mini GP, and Mini GP is advertised as, what is the slogan? Pros are made.
Yeah.
And the pros, have been made, and then when you come back, it's more of like it's just so much fun to like hang out and
Yes.
ride the supermoto stuff and like the TTRs. Like, what was it? When me and Rocco were teammates, he was staying at my house. We went to Millville for the TTR race, and it was like you got 10 guys battling for a win on a kart track on TTRs where they're all the same speed. So it's like Mini GP is advertised as like a great place to start, which it is. It's the best place to start. But on top of that, like if you're already started, it's just fun.
Yeah.
So like that's why I
Hell,
always
the last
do it.
time I did it, I ran that kid over.
Yeah.
Yeah, Posh ran
Well,
somebody
you know
over
what-
last
you know
Put
what
me on
happens?
anything, I'll break it. You know.
People that like have been riding track for years and stuff, like really the adults are like the hardest ones to coach because they're so used to the power of like a 1000 cc bike making up for all their shortcomings. TTR
Yeah.
don't.
And then they get smoked.
Yeah. Well,
Well, you've
Not
heard
just
that.
that,
You've
but
heard
yeah.
about riders who said, "Oh yeah, I thought I had it all," and then they'd gotten so far off the beaten path,
yeah.
and then they go back to minis and like, "Holy shit, I get it again." They remember the fundamentals come back to them in Mini GP, and you can't do that on the track at 100 plus miles an hour. You can't figure those fundamentals back out again.
Yeah, we had some guy talking to Marcello last weekend. He was like, "Oh, that bike's way too small for me. I ride a 1000." It's like, yeah, come get on
on
the
it,
bike,
Chief.
bro. You'll never be more scared of 8 horsepower.
Come
TTR
get
is
it.
not too small for anybody.
No,
No.
nobody.
Me a little bit, dude. That thing doesn't hardly move with me on
You
it.
were on the 12-inch bike.
Yeah, that thing was so slow.
I weigh more than you do, bro. Like
There's no way. How much you weigh?
185.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
Dude, you're like 5'9".
I got muscle.
Dude,
bro.
it's not about height.
There's no
It ain't
way.
it's about the weight, bro.
There's no way you're 185.
It's all right.
Dude, we're going to have to hop on a scale after this.
There's one in the back chipping.
You lost
Shipping
weight. You
receipt.
were what 200 and
You were
I
over.
was 230 like when I started racing mini
You
GP.
dog, dude.
Yeah, bro.
That's
A,
crazy.
a big chunker.
it's a big nugget.
Now that I don't race, I'm trying to hit the 200 club.
No, you're not.
Yeah, that V2. If you watch your onboard videos and you see on the straightaways,
She's struggling.
you got like 20 to 30 pounds on me. So
Yeah.
how much do you weigh?
175 right now.
It's like 20 pounds, and that's a lot.
Yeah.
When you hit the straight on the exact same bike,
Yeah,
It's a
I'm
lot.
a big boy, you know.
it's a lot.
Big boy. Yeah, but you're also, way under 6 foot and stuff, so of course you're gonna be a little lighter.
A little dig. I caught that.
Yeah,
Gus just likes to tell people he's like,
I'm
6 foot,
5'11".
you know?
I'm 5'11".
Yeah, he didn't
On a
crack,
good
he
day.
didn't crack 6 foot yet, obviously.
He's
No,
close
but
though. He's
I'm
he's
also
caught,
only
caught up.
20.
He wears those platforms.
He wears those Hokas with the
Yeah.
with the
Oh
lift in 'em.
yeah. Yeah. Are you 5'11" with your shoes on or with them off? Probably with them on, huh?
When I went to prom, I was Kev measured me. I was 6 foot in the prom shoes. So
Wow, big
Yeah.
boy.
Big
I remember
boy.
Gus was
Yeah.
so excited when he got taller than me. Every 5 minutes, he'd be like, "Oh, stand next to me. Let's see who's taller."
nah, you can always tell when you walk up when I would walk up to Rich and when you lock eyes. Next thing you know, you have to
Yeah.
look down a little bit.
Lock eyes.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
Guys all the time.
Okay. Anyway, Brandon,
Yo.
what do we got for sponsors this year? Do we want to for Loudon? What do we want to announce that one, or is it not far enough along? Or
That's not 100% finalized yet,
Okay,
but
then
we
we
do
won't
have a
announce that.
pretty cool partnership in the works.
Okay.
If that pans out, that'd be pretty badass. It's a out of the industry company that we're trying to bring into a new market for them, and that should be pretty sweet. But for now, yeah, I have some loyal companies behind me for the past few years. We got Arai Helmets. They've been supporting me since I was 9 years old, and then RST, which carried over from my Superbike program. Staying in RST again this year, and Garnet Boots, which was also from the Superbike program, but they decided to stick with me for this year. So thanks to those guys for keeping me safe. Because I like to crash, and
no,
break
no,
shit.
we don't let the crash.
Hey,
no.
I didn't crash at Summit.
I
We
know
got
you
through
do a
there
very
clean.
good job.
Close.
Very good job.
Damn close.
A couple times I was pretty
Yeah.
It
close.
almost
but-
cleaned us both out.
Yeah.
Yo, and then when that brake locked up into one, I
Yeah.
almost dumped
Yep.
it then, and I almost crashed in the gravel. And
When the linkage broke.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we were talking about in the interview with Vay. It was like, yeah, we broke some stuff. I'm like, we broke all the stuff.
Yeah, as
We
much
broke
as you
everything,
could
yeah.
do.
Which
Kev
is
Dog-
good.
You literally said too, the only thing I didn't touch was that back brake.
Yeah. Yeah, for real.
Who
And
uses the back
remember when I
brake?
crashed that 750 at Jersey?
Mhm.
We went over that most of the bike
entire bike.
except for the front brakes, and then
Yeah.
the front brake locked up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember that
we went
day-
over everything except the most important part.
Yeah, dude. Well, because I asked Frank, I was like, "Should we bleed these?" And he was like, "No, they work."
They felt
So,
fine.
yeah,
I
they
mean,
felt
didn't feel-
fine.
yeah. Then
But
Yeah,
In
you were
my
only gonna
head-
go out there and do
That
what,
means
like
his whole handle on the
32s
front
anyways.
brake.
But
Yeah.
dude, I was thinking before I went out, I was like, "Nah, I feel like we should bleed these brakes." And then the first lap, dude, the front brake locked. Like,
yeah.
It locked.
dude, it didn't like lock, but it like caught enough to tuck the front on the exit of turn 5 at Jersey.
Well, that's what
And
the
then
rear
that
did.
exits.
That's what
Yeah.
that rear caliber did at Summit.
Yeah, and then
it
that
just
did the same
seized
thing.
up. Yeah.
It's just crazy though that like that was the only time like I don't know. It was just trippy because like that one was like, oh, we touched everything except for that, and then I crashed doing that, and then this weekend we are like, oh, you touched everything except
Yeah.
the back brake, and then
Yeah,
it
yeah.
failed. It's weird.
Deja vu.
Yeah,
Well, that was. I mean, with that 750, that was literally like, hey, want to ride that tomorrow?
yeah. It was
And it had
another
been
one of my
sitting in
last
my
minute
sitting in my
things.
shop, and I'm like, I guess we'll get it prepped when we get to the track tomorrow, and we went over as much as we could,
Yeah.
But at least we had some time prior with the B bike that you were
Yeah.
riding on, because we had that bike for a year and a half, but it had only done 2 laps,
That's
and it had
crazy.
overheated both laps, and then we found out the water pump gear was shot. Got that working, and I went over everything I could, with the exception of the back brake. That's the last thing you think is going to
Yeah.
go, right?
Well, most people don't even use it.
No, exactly.
Gus
Exactly.
probably hardly uses that thing,
Yeah.
and then I get on him.
I just want a
standing
thumb
on it.
brake. I might order the thumb brake.
Weren't you just crying that you had no money, like just in the kitchen?
Yeah, but dude, that thumb brake could make me $2 extra grand at Loudon next week.
Okay, all right.
Investment.
And
It's an
if not,
investment. Well, I don't know. I see all the guys that ride Ducatis and Moto America. They all have handbrakes, so I feel left
do
out.
they know? I didn't see that.
Every single one of them.
Have you ever used a thumb brake?
Just the makeshift one on the CRF 100.
Oh, that was dope, actually.
Yeah, I had a handbrake for my 450, but never didn't really like that.
Where is it?
I sold it.
Good job.
Actually, I just could take the money from that and put
You
it towards
should.
a new one.
There you go. There you go. So
If
anyway,
anyone
well,
watching this wants to sponsor a handbrake setup for me and Posh, let us know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but while you're at
Brembo,
it,
is
we might as well
Brembo
get 2 of
watching
them.
or what?
No, I don't think so. Brembo wants no parts of that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, honestly, though, if anybody out there wants to be part of the program for the Loudon Classic, we can get some, decals on the bikes, maybe some possible gear wear and stuff like that, hats. I don't know about hats, but shirts probably. I know I'm preaching to the choir because
I'll get some
trying
custom
to sell
underwear
them.
made.
There you go.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
BP on the ass.
Yeah,
Okay.
something.
Got it.
I'd wear those.
Get an Ethica sponsorship.
I'm gonna make some for Gus. It just say insert
You
here
were
with an
sponsored.
arrow.
He was He was sponsored by Ethica.
Damn,
Tosh.
didn't you get
I
your
have
What happened?
mended.
What happened to that?
Well, I was like indirectly sponsored by them.
Oh,
Like
okay.
somebody that like knows those guys was
Right.
like throwing me stuff. But then Malcolm, who was one of the original guys at Ethica, has a company called The Mended now.
Mhm.
And it's a very similar product. Like the boxers are like the same shape and everything, but they're like super breathable. So they've been kind of hooking me up too, just sending me stuff, and they make motocross gear and stuff too now.
Nice.
So
He goes through a lot of underwear.
yeah, dude. Especially when I'm shitting myself going into turn 1 at Summit Point, dude. I had some skid marks on both of those pairs. I'll tell you that
Yeah.
for free,
Yeah, I'll bet.
No one was gonna pay for you to tell them that.
dude.
so.
We should start selling my used race
No.
underwear and
Oh my
socks and
God.
stuff, dude. Somebody would buy it. There's some freak out there that would love it.
That's OnlyFans, right? Can't you do that?
Yeah,
Don't they have?
we got to get a feet finder going and just sell all my socks. You know that bloody one, my bloody sock from Daytona, dude. That would have fetched some money.
Well, that's up to you, Chief.
It was stinky and bloody, dude. Somebody would
Ah.
love that thing.
Yeah.
Where did this go so wrong? Man?
I know, right? Yeah.
You let me
I
have
gotta
a
get out of
microphone.
here. I gotta get out of here.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So the bikes are almost there. Now we learned from all the little glitches we had at Summit, and we'll go on this week and next week, get them all prepped, get them on a dyno, and then we'll head out to Loudon and go see the boys up there. Get some lunch money.
get another boot mark in the fairings?
Yeah. But no, that's chilled out since then. That little incident.
Well,
Which
But
one?
it's been 2 years.
This time I'm
The
printing the,
lunch
graphics,
money.
so
The
nobody
lunch
can
money.
yeah,
print
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Like,
that's long since smooth though. You've spoken with Shane since then, I'm sure.
No,
I have. I mean,
I haven't
yeah,
spoke
he's
to him
cool.
at all.
Yeah, he's cool.
Ever since he like stood over me in that meeting and was like
Yeah.
yelling at me in my face, and I started laughing at him. Ever since then,
Yeah.
I've never spoke to him again, and I
Really?
couldn't care less to be
Yeah.
honest.
I spoke to him a couple weeks ago.
I mean,
That
He's
was
a
like
good dude.
what,
I've
that
always
was
I've always
3
liked
years
Shane.
ago?
I've always been friends with him
Yeah,
too
I've
until
always
that
liked
point.
Shane,
I don't know what
yeah.
happened. Like
That
I
was
don't know
2
why he
years
got
ago.
so mad at me. Of
Yeah.
everybody there, he
You were
got
just
that
in the
mad at
wrong
me.
place at the wrong
Like,
time at that moment.
I've known Shane since I was like 10 years old.
yeah.
Always been friendly with him. He's always helped me out. I've always ridden with him, like never had an issue.
Mhm.
And then I was following him in qualifying, and he got pissed.
Yeah.
But
Why
I
are
mean,
you trying to get a tow, bro? Just go out and ride for yourself.
dude, you saw that thing I was riding. I needed every little bit I could get.
It's not a
goddammit.
power track.
Yeah, well, I also wasn't riding a lot, dude. I had 3 months on the couch, and then I was like, you know what? I gotta
That was right
go.
after you broke your back.
He
Yeah.
said hashtag let
Yeah.
me
I got
cheat code my
excuses
way
all
through
day.
Either-
this.
Yeah,
Either-
exactly.
Either way, knowing Shane, I gotta feel that you were just in the wrong spot at the wrong time.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't-
you
I
just
mean-
got one of them faces,
I
Yeah,
have a face that
definitely.
people love to hate.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's kind of funny. Like that situation to me, I was just like, this is so like ridiculous that it's kind of funny. Because like what other that people follow everybody in Moto America qualifying, MotoGP qualifying, World Superbike qualifying. Nobody goes and kicks somebody else like that or like
Unless you're a
freaks out
Latius
and starts
Spargo.
screaming in your face. Like you don't go that far with it.
Yeah.
Like. I mean,
Yeah.
it's one thing to get pissed off and like flip me off or whatever, but then to like kick me and then like start yelling at
Yeah.
me and shit, it's like that's a little.
Well, it's
overboard.
it's
You
in the
kinda-
past now. It's behind us and it's behind him, and I got a feeling it's going to be a much different race, different go around.
I'm not gonna keep it going. You know what I mean?
No,
Like I don't
no,
really
God,
care
no.
that much. I thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
And,
well,
I think,
nothing de-escalates a situation more than when you laugh at someone.
yeah, I
It
think
definitely doesn't
yeah,
de-escalate it
that
at
wound
all.
him up more for sure. And like I really wasn't trying to wind him up even more, but like I genuinely thought that whole situation was kind of funny.
It
And
was.
I just
it was a
couldn't
little
control
over the top,
myself.
yeah.
I was like, this is actually insane. Like it was so out there that I just couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah, but anyway, it's
But
you finished in 4th, right?
yeah, and I think he
And
got
he was where?
9th or
9th or
something or 10th. Yeah, it was a good
Yeah.
performance.
That's a
Yeah.
lot of money to get mad.
It is.
over,
It is a lot of money.
Well,
That's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
so-
it's a yearly salary for me, so
this time, right?
yeah, well, yeah. Now that I
Yeah.
know how hard it is to make that money, I'm like,
Yeah.
shit, I'd kill somebody for that.
Yeah. Yeah. so-
I'd do worse than
well,
kick
no,
him.
let's not say that on,
I'm just kidding.
on
I'm
the
just kidding. I'm
podcast.
just kidding.
Paging
that was
Joe
a joke.
Lamondre.
Yeah, Joe Lamondre comes up to me after that GTU or whatever, and he's
I'll
like,
die for this trophy.
yeah, he was like, I would have died for it to beat you, and I was like, "Dude, what, for a piece of plastic, dude? You're out of your mind.
He's out of his mind.
Oh shit! I hope you're not watching, Joe.
I don't. I
Yo,
hope
he's
he is
gonna be
watching.
coming.
He'd
He's gonna
laughing.
be coming
He's
to the
on
car
his-
track tomorrow. Like,
Is he coming to the car track?
These guys, he's gonna clean us out at the car track
Yeah.
tomorrow.
I'm ready to die to pass you on this car track.
Dude,
Yeah,
yeah, I
but
thought
no,
that
money
was
does,
funny.
like Nathan just said, money brings out the best and the worst in people.
Yeah,
you know,
facts.
especially that, where it's a difference between what fourth and
Hey,
10th
money's the
is-
root of all
yeah,
evil, man.
It is. It sure is, right?
Yeah, but also
Yeah.
if I was him and I'm coming in, I've won that Loudon Classic like 9 times.
He's got a day job.
There's never
too.
been anybody like crazy there. Like the Moto
Mhm.
America guys haven't ever showed up.
That
He's
year
won
was
it 9
that year
times or
was
whatever.
Yeah, when they
Then
opened it up.
We all show up and he's like not destroying everybody. He's
Right.
probably like, "What the heck's going on
Yeah.
here?" Like I've always been the guy.
Well, dude, you
Yeah.
got to picture it like this. Say, NJMP is your track, but it's not the same because like the Loudon series, they only race at Loudon, so it's different than any other series, right? So like, you were kind of coming to his home and trying to follow him. Obviously, how many people were trying to follow him all weekend because it's his home or however you want to put it.
Pretty
Yeah,
much-
what-
you
so
walked
you were
into
probably
his
like the
house with muddy
15th
shoes
guy.
on and
Yeah.
Right.
got on his couch and started
You were probably the
grinding your feet in
15th
his
guy
couch.
that
Yeah.
wanted to follow him, and he's probably so fed up he can't even get his own laps in, so
Yeah.
he gets pissed
Well,
off.
My whole thing too was like I wasn't even trying to follow him. I just happened to come out of the pit lane and he was there. And then when I realized he was getting pissed off about it, I was like, "Well, you got to do a lap at some point. So I'm gonna just keep hounding you till you go."
There we go.
That's
and there we
But
go.
Yeah.
I'm not stupid. I know he's going to be fast there, and I don't
Yeah.
want to follow some jabroni that's been here once. I'd be like following myself. Why wouldn't I follow the guy that's like won all these races?
The
here,
guy.
you know?
Yeah,
That,
exactly.
you should be flattered,
Yeah,
honestly.
it was more of a compliment than anything,
Yeah.
and I think he just took it the wrong way.
We're gonna have a track day, so that should be.
We're gonna
pretty
have to
sick.
go hold hands and make up or something.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a good idea.
I don't think
if-
it's that deep,
No,
Like,
I don't think it
get
really is,
flipped
yeah.
off driving my car every single day, and
That's
I
me.
don't ever
I got
think
flipped
about it
off,
3
that's
years
me.
later.
That's him flipping you off.
Yesterday
That's
I got flipped
me.
off.
Yeah, like
I
how
flipped
about-
you off when you left for the restaurant tonight because I put your bike outside. You didn't bring it in.
No, because I honestly was like, okay, you know what? If it gets stolen, he's gonna owe me some money. So I was like, whatever.
Not gonna do it.
Hey, I was getting into it with Michael
Whatever
Dunlop at
helps you sleep
Daytona.
at night.
Were you really?
Oh yeah, in qualifying because he
Mhm.
sat up with like 2 minutes to go in the dog leg,
Oh, really?
and I was like coming
Maybe
Coming
it's
hard.
you.
right behind him,
What's
and
you're the common denominator here?
yeah,
Dude, I've
yeah.
seen groups of people show up to Brandon's canopy and try and fight him after CCS races.
Dude.
I've seen groups of people.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just, I don't know. When I'm racing CCS, I'll take an extra corner to pass somebody again because
Dude, but that's
I'm
what I
not
do that
going
too,
hard
though.
for that.
I
classic
don't
trophy.
do anything that
Yeah, but now
outrageous.
I think
you know?
I think
Not
Brandon a
anymore.
couple years ago.
Yeah, not
Brandon
anymore,
a couple
but
years ago was a
dude.
lot more aggressive.
Yeah, I was an
And,
assassin back then.
You were a lot more aggressive. You were a lot more cocky, right? And
It was terrible.
yeah, it wasn't terrible.
you
it
were
wasn't.
such an
He
asshole,
was
Brandon.
not. Listen, no.
Nah.
I think Brandon is misunderstood, right? I think
Rich is
I'll
getting good
probably-
at finding stolen bikes.
I'm probably one of the only guys who's a glutton enough to keep coming back to you. You know what I mean? And
poor
I can
Kev
say,
dog.
Oh
man.
my
and I can
God.
say, you know what though, I got a soft spot for Brandon. So it's kind of like, if I could come up with 6 figures or a little more money, if we can come up with some serious sponsorship, I would put together a program around Brandon
Well,
and
Kev
you.
Dog's seen me at like my highest, like
Right.
as far as like doing good on the track, and my lowest of like being just an asshole,
Right.
like being a complete tool bag,
Yeah.
but then also like not being a complete tool bag sometimes, you know.
Well, you have definitely came around a lot.
I think if you don't know
Yeah.
Brandon,
And, well, ever since, honestly, you came around the most since you haven't had a ride. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it
yeah,
just
your attitude that,
brings you back to
You know
earth,
what though? I mean,
you know?
I've never. You've always been Brandon, right? Always been Brandon, and I kind of get it. And I think when you get into a situation where they don't understand who you are, you know what I mean? Like your whole backstory. That's the hard part, right? Knowing where you came from, and because we know everything about you, obviously, because
Yeah.
we go way back. But guys like I don't, and I hate to say, Ulrich and those guys.
Yeah.
I think they just don't get it, right? So they don't know how to utilize you to your fullest capacity. They don't
Yeah.
understand how to wrangle Brandon or how to work with Brandon, really, because you're a lot. You're a
Yeah,
lot
I'm
to work
definitely
with.
not
You're
a normal individual. That's
right,
for
but
sure.
I think you also have a different demeanor with me with rodeo racing than you do with anybody, because I think I don't know, for some reason
Yeah,
it's like
he can
you
just
you're-
do
you're
whatever he
you're just kind of
wants, and
chill
there's no
yeah,
consequences,
there's really,
you know.
what consequences
Just
am I going to
kidding.
give him, right?
He can just do whatever.
Well, like over here, it's more like a family thing. You
Right,
know?
right.
Where like
Yeah.
when I'm riding for a big team like that, they look at it as it's business and all they want is results, blah,
Right,
blah, blah.
right.
Strict,
Yeah.
this. But every time I've ridden for a smaller team, I've had very good success, whether it's with
Yeah.
you guys at Loudon or TOBC at Daytona or TSC at Daytona or the Moto3 team.
The people
that
that
I won
understand
with.
you, like your
Yeah,
family, the
it's
people
like-
that understand.
Yeah, it's a group of like people that are just like there because we all have the same goal and we all want to have fun while we're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's a very like I work better in like a looser program kind of, you
Right,
know?
exactly.
I'm a bit of a loose individual.
No, really?
No Diddy, but I'm a bit like I don't know. I like to have fun
Guys,
and
freaking-
I don't know.
Yeah,
a lot
wait.
of people don't like that.
They said, I don't do anything that aggressive. Gus and Brandon cut through 4 people going into turn 9 at Summit Point.
Almost plowing each other down.
And then they came to the pit, and they're like, "Oh, where you went behind me over there?" And you were like, "Oh, dude, I'm sorry." They're like, "No, I loved it. I really
Yeah.
loved it."
I
right?
thought that guy was going to
Yeah,
yell at me. Yo, you remember that day at OVRP?
Oh, my
I
God,
don't think I can tell
dude.
that story, but yeah.
That was a long story because basically,
I
what's
hate
the
to be
best way
that
to put
guy,
it?
but I didn't do
Nah,
anything
Brandon-
wrong that time either.
Yeah,
And Gus
and-
can vouch for that.
nah,
I didn't.
alright.
I actually didn't do anything wrong this
this is
time.
gonna be the only story that I tell on the podcast.
All right, let's hear it.
So, all right, so we're at OVRP and we're coaching. Okay, so we are working at the track. We need to be professional. You know, we got riders that are learning from what we're, telling them. And it was a 2-day school. And basically, Brandon passes this guy into, nobody really knows, but there's a hairpin at OVRP. He passes this guy, and this guy just freaks out and runs into the barrier.
Yep, mind you, I passed him the
no,
corner
He
before
passed
the
him
hairpin.
the corner before.
Around the outside.
Right, and the guy just hits the barrier in the hairpin. And he comes over to our pit, and it just got escalated instantly. Like, you were in the wrong with the escalating of it. He was in the wrong, but there was no harm done. So I could see why you were mad, you know what I mean? Because you didn't do it.
Oh, dude, I was furious.
So Brandon's in his
So I
underwear
just, like,
standing
flipped the
outside of the
switch.
van.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, Brandon's in his underwear yelling at this guy.
Oh my god.
And
It
he's
was
sitting
bad.
on his
I didn't hear
bike,
about
and
this.
he's sitting on his 450, and his 450 is idling, and it's like 90 degrees.
and
at
in your
OVRP.
underwear?
And I'm in my
his-
underwear. We're bickering back and forth.
His 450 starts boiling over right
Dude.
out front.
And I was like, you either need to shut your bike off or get the F out of here.
And then he just
He
ran
packed
away.
up and left. They just packed up, fully
But
just
his-
dipped.
Damn.
It was weird. It was
But his
a weird
girlfriend
situation.
was
His
standing
girlfriend
behind him, like looking
laughing.
at me, like smiling. And then this dude's all
and
pissed
his girlfriend
off in
was
my
taking
face.
videos of Brandon on the track too.
Yeah. And then she was
Yeah,
telling
and-
somebody else there that like how fast I was and stuff. I don't know. It
At
was
the
just a
car
whole
track,
big thing.
Coaching at the car
Yeah.
track. She was just telling him how
That's
fast I
starting to
was.
connect the dots there.
Yeah, dude. I
Poor
think.
Wes, he shit himself and was amazed at the same time at Summit. I guess that's
Oh,
who we passed.
yeah, dude.
That's-
Wes definitely shit himself because I thought he was mad, and I was kind of like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Like I was about to take the "I'm sorry" approach this time.
Right.
I learned from my mistake of yelling at the other guy.
There you go. Or laughing at them.
Yeah, don't laugh, don't yell
Don't-
back.
yeah.
Just apologize and move on. That's
See,
kind of
there you go. There's a new Brandon
That's
right
the
there.
same thing with women, dude. They're always right. You just, I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
won't do it again.
Yeah, there you
Just
go.
Let it roll.
You're getting
you
it.
know? I'm figuring it out.
Yeah,
You're always wrong.
you're always
That's the
wrong.
thing. Yeah,
You're
you're
wrong.
always
The thing
just-
about OVRP was that was less than a year ago.
Dude,
But
I was, yeah, but
That
I've
was
done a lot of
bad.
stupid
Was that-
shit in the past
was
year.
that the end of the weekend or the end of the first day? End of the week.
End of the weekend, I think. That was the second day, yeah. After we lost all that money in the casino. Or I did.
You
Dude,
lost that
yeah.
money in the casino.
Gus was like, oh, all right, go in there. I think you gave me cash because I
Gave
didn't
me
have
like
any cash.
$200.
And I went in there with like $200. And I was like, oh, I'm going to be in here for a couple hours for sure.
He was like, I'm gonna double this or I'm gonna lose it all.
Yeah.
You know,
I was
the
in
old-
and out of that bitch in 15 minutes, dude.
Oh,
I
wow.
Dude, he
lost
came
all
back
of
up to the hotel room
Gus
And,
was about to be mid jerk.
Yo, what?
Oh
how
my
could you say
God,
that
I
on
hope your
live-
mom's not
on
watching
live
this.
TV?
Sorry, sorry,
Pretty sure
sorry.
my mom's
So
watching.
My mom's watching. Your
Nah,
mother's
the
watching.
thing was is I wasn't old enough to go into the casino, so I was actually gambling on my phone.
Oh, great. Yeah, God forbid.
I didn't lose $200. Brandon lost $200, and it was funny because obviously we were coaching people and we make money doing that. And the one rider actually paid in cash that weekend, and he handed the money to Brandon, and he was like, "Don't lose this at the casino," because he knew where we were staying. That was what's his name, James Shepard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's
Shepard,
cool. He was the fastest guy we've ever coached, for sure.
Yeah.
James, he was
As
ripping.
a duo, but I think
Yeah.
that Nathan Baines guy,
Yeah,
I coached
he's
him in
fast.
Florida. He's pretty fast too.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
He's got the record of Pineview now.
Yeah, he does.
Gotta go break that.
There's-
Nobody cares enough to break that record. But anyway,
Wow.
um,
Okay.
Damn. All right.
sorry, but
All right.
nobody
Yeah, I
cares.
love that track.
Yeah, it does look
Probably-
cool.
That's probably my favorite track.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking about that OVRP thing, dude, and I find it so funny but kind of messed up, bro. Yeah, that was.
No, I
crazy.
felt bad. I felt bad for the guy.
I did afterwards.
I was standing there, just kind of, my jaw was kind of on the floor, and I was like, I was actually standing in front of the guy because I was afraid that something was going to happen at our coaching day. And I was like, if Brandon, tries to hurt this poor fella,
That's the end of the whole.
That's the
the
end.
company's
Our whole
dissolved.
thing is
the
done.
96
Gone.
Academy is gone.
No, I wasn't
86.
dumb enough to do that, but I was.
I don't know. You were like
fuming,
pointing
dude.
in his face, getting kind of close.
Well, like, what
So
was
I was
he,
like-
what was he saying that you
He
made
came
took
over.
him out.
Yeah, he was telling me that I took
No,
him
he
out
didn't even
or
crash.
something.
He hit the barrier, but he didn't crash.
Yeah.
He was just mad that Brandon got a little close.
Dude, and I didn't even get. I have it all on video. That's what pissed me off even more. Was I was like, I know exactly what this guy's talking about because I come through the hairpin as he's going into it. So like I'm going the opposite direction as him, and then he hit the barrier.
You scared him.
So yeah, I scared
just
him in
scared
the
him,
corner
yeah.
before, and then he didn't hit the brakes into the next corner and hit the barrier. So I was
Wait,
like, how is
yeah.
this my fault? I
When
didn't
your
do anything
adre-
wrong.
When your adrenaline's
And then I was just
going.
really pissed off, and I was in my underwear, just sweating my balls off.
And they were white underwear too.
in white underwear. That was
yeah,
all
they were
sweaty,
white
dude.
underwear. And
I didn't give not one shit that entire time, dude.
they
I
were
was
mended
fuming.
underwear.
Yeah.
That company.
That's
yeah.
why his girlfriend was smiling.
Oh, she was loving it for sure.
Brandon caked up.
Oh my God.
I feel bad. I don't. Maybe next subject here. Maybe just move on from that one.
Eight-
shit.
8696. What does that mean?
That means 86. The 96 Academy would have been 86th if you.
Oh, yeah.
86 means no more.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we
You didn't
almost
know
got
that?
86.
You almost got 86.
No,
Yeah.
you learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Trump.
That-
You learn that?
Oh God!
Oh.
Don't bring that. Don't,
Politics.
don't bring politics up.
Nah, it's okay. I
We're
don't
gonna
think
lose half
Pags
the
is in here.
viewers.
yeah. No. the bag. Wow. That was
That's-
cold.
that's
That was
a l-
cold.
That's a low blow for Pags.
So
Short in
anyway.
stature.
Anyway.
Shout out
That's
Scott
cold.
Power Sports.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pags is actually a sponsor of Mini GP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
wouldn't really know it though.
Why?
I don't know. It's just
Because
I
he
just
hasn't come
wouldn't-
to any events.
yeah, he hasn't been there, so
I'm thinking about putting together some purse money for a class. I
you
don't
should
know.
do the Motard class so I can go get
no,
it.
No,
I'm
somebody-
gonna go whoop your ass.
Yeah,
and take
Somebody
okay.
did.
Stock 125 heavyweight.
Somebody did that.
Nobody
No,
did
who's
Motard.
Who's Cycle Force?
No, that's Nino.
Marcello, and
No, I
that's
know, but what class
Super
did he-
Mini.
Oh, he sponsors Super
Yeah,
Mini?
you should do
Yeah.
Motard.
So nobody's done Motard?
No.
I'll do Motard.
Well,
Hey, make them bonuses
I
big
don't-
though,
I
Kev
don't
Dog.
wanna say
500,
anything.
Easy.
500 for a
500
win.
for the win.
I don't
No,
want to
it's
say
not
anything
500.
yet, Kev, but
Why?
there might be a sponsor for Motard.
If
Really?
you can't cover the tires to
500,
get there,
300,
to win,
200.
if you win the
Top
race,
three.
you should be able to cover your tire bill. Just
Yeah.
do a set of
No,
tires to
there-
each winner. How
There
about
you
that?
go.
There
yeah,
might
there you go.
there might be a sponsor.
worth it.
Well, you
along
can't
those
you can't
lines.
say that and then not tell it.
Oh, we can get first
What?
and second.
Maybe
and
It's
Who
who
not
would
our
be
business.
sponsor?
It's Mini GP's business right
It's
now
not-
until
yeah,
it's
like
official.
I don't want to say
All
nothing.
right, well then,
until
Marcello, let's
gets
talk about Motard class sponsorship for
All right,
purse.
we got 21 people in here. It's been hovering between 21 and 28. So let's try and get some questions here before we
there you
end
go.
this
Look
off.
at
We gotta-
you.
we
Way
got.
to go,
I say
little
give it
guy.
another 10, 15 minutes, and then I gotta hit the hay. I'm
I
riding
think
tomorrow.
you know what?
You Nancy.
Come on.
I think the Loudon Classic. We got to bring that aggressive BP back from that OVRP
Listen to this
BP
guy.
needs to come back out.
No, because then I'll be in the
No,
office
no,
again.
not like yelling at people or whatever, but like, I
ERP.
gotta be like in there, you know.
Kev, just start
Gotta give 'em the work.
communicating with race direction now.
I'm gonna call now. Race direction.
Apologize in advance.
Yeah, for real.
No, I'm
So-
just playing. We're gonna be good.
So are
We're
you
gonna be good,
doing
no trouble.
are you doing minis tomorrow? Well, you going to
Oh
Jersey?
yeah. My bike's outside getting real wet right now.
That's in your truck.
Oh yeah, it is.
Or
Hopefully it's not stolen.
It's
Yeah,
not
I backed it
stolen.
up
I
to
got
the wall.
cameras out front.
Yeah, so
Even if it did get stolen,
Just
you know
because you
what?
have cameras doesn't mean
Yeah,
it didn't
I
get
could
stolen.
watch it. I could watch it leave.
you just watch it.
Yeah.
Steve.
Say
Oh, dude.
goodbye.
So I'm assuming you're staying over tonight.
Oh yeah, I'm sleeping with you, Kev
No,
Dog.
no, you're not. Hell no, you're not.
Come on,
I mean,
you
this
got
is
space
just,
in
but this
there.
is just typical of our relationship, where it's like you wake up and Brandon's in your house,
Oh boy,
Yeah, so it's like whatever.
you never know what
You know,
he's doing. in
yeah,
there.
Lock
don't
your
get it. I
doors,
lock my
fellas.
doors. Yes, I absolutely.
Brandon's
lock
in
my
the
doors.
house.
Gotta call the exterminator.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you could try.
I think we're gonna go hang out with. I think we wanted to hang out with Maz
shit.
if it was possible.
What, tonight?
Yeah,
But he's got.
Frank's probably working on his boat.
yeah, we're gonna go absolutely ruin this whole project.
We might. we might go
You
drop
guys are
it.
mean.
Not
do
on
that.
purpose.
He works hard on that boat,
We're
bro.
not gonna ruin
Don't-
it on purpose.
Don't go crazy.
I think the boat is great. I think the boat is cool, but I don't have much to say about it because he hasn't invited me out on it yet.
Same.
And I made
Oh,
stickers
shit.
for it.
Actually, me
Maz,
too.
you got
I
called. If
made
you're listening,
stickers
Maz,
for
you
it
got
and
called
shit,
out.
and
Yeah.
and he hasn't invited me on it.
So has he hit 100 on that yet?
no.
Yeah, 95.
Yeah,
or
he hasn't hit.
something.
Dude, that's fast on the water. That's fast.
Dude, did you see the thing doing a wheelie?
Yeah.
He almost looped the thing out.
Yeah. I remember my jet ski did like 45, and I thought it was like the fastest
well,
thing
you
ever.
had also hit a bumblebee and
Nah,
retired on the
there's no
street bike.
bumblebee.
So.
There's no bumblebee. I fell
That's-
off. I fell off when the jet flew overhead. I flew off. There was a warthog flying down the Mullica, literally like
Wow,
100
that
feet
was-
above me.
That's cool.
That scared the shit out of me, bro. Those warthogs fly by, dude.
I would have been like,
I
Dude, if
fell-
a
I
bumblebee
fell off
gets you,
the
I
jet
can't
ski.
imagine, man.
Dude, I literally fell off the jet ski. I thought I was gonna die. This friggin' jet was like,
why
they're
would you
so-
fall off of it though?
because it friggin' jet wash. It was that close.
on,
Yeah,
Kev.
absolutely. Yeah, it blew me away. I flew 25 feet off the back of the jet ski. I'm not even kidding.
Hey.
You got blown
Hey,
away.
Yeah, I did.
Kev Dog,
I
this-
did.
this
I
sounds
was
real.
younger. I was only 155 back then.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
25 feet.
25 feet.
I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
believe it or
going the
not,
opposite
I
way.
guess Kev was a shorter version of me at one point.
Yeah.
So I got to
I was
stay in the
way more
gym, and I
jacked, yeah.
gotta watch.
I graduated 155 at 5'8".
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit more
Yeah.
Wait, how'd you
slender.
get shorter?
155.
I swelled up like a wood tick.
5'11".
And I compressed.
No, you didn't.
No.
Well, you've always been 5'8", obviously, but
Yeah, 5'8". Yeah, I was a lot wider back then. Well, I graduated then, but then I bulked up to like 225. within
but
the first-
muscle, straight
Yeah,
muscle.
straight muscle. The most muscle Anadrol.
That was when
could-
he. That was
yeah,
when he
most
started
muscle.
dating my
Anadrol
mom.
could make.
Yeah,
back
Nate.
then.
The story definitely seems fabricated
Hey.
on the jet ski.
Kev
No,
Dog,
it's totally not.
you were saying 25 feet, and I started thinking, like, when I broke my back, I did an interview the same day with,
Yeah.
like, David Schwartz from Road Racing World. He called me, and I was
Yeah.
like, I fell 50 feet out of the sky. Like, I was on so much pain medicine in
Yeah.
the hospital that I was just like, yeah, it was literally 50 feet in the air. And then afterwards, I was like, 50 feet would be, like, kind of high, actually.
50 feet,
That's
dude.
pretty
That's
big.
high, yeah.
That's how his
That's
telephone
three stories, is it?
Tell it.
13 feet per story.
Yeah, well, then they were like, oh, well, this is, like, the next level of trauma unit that you got to go to.
Oh,
They're
see,
like,
you shouldn't
there's
have
no
said
way.
it. Yeah, you shouldn't have said it.
Yeah, I was kind of twisted.
And then you just they saw dollar signs once you said 50
oh yeah,
feet.
they were like, oh yeah, you're spending the night. That's another 50 G's, baby.
Oh,
Ouch.
man.
It was something ridiculous. I don't remember what it was, but it was a lot.
I've spent a couple nights in a hospital
Yeah.
in Seattle.
Yeah.
Yep. You ever spent nights in a hospital, Rich?
No,
I hope you don't.
I've been to a hospital, but never spent a night.
I've seen one on TV.
Mm.
Yeah.
No, I spent some
I
time.
have health
We all spent
insurance,
some.
so they don't
yeah.
keep me overnight in the hospital.
Really? I had health insurance too, and they kept my ass for a while.
Yeah.
They would have wanted to keep me longer.
Well,
don't
how
know.
could they get rid of you?
I know, I'm such a gem.
Yeah.
I've been in and out of so many hospitals. It's unreal.
It's unreal.
It's actually a joke, dude. Like
All right, so what's the best?
Not like
hospital?
Travis Pastrana.
honestly, not that level, obviously, but like you're asking the best hospital that I've been to. Is that what you're about to say? Probably as far as like a healthcare system goes, England, dude. I broke my wrist the one year on a Friday, had a screw put in the next Saturday, and then raced 2 weeks later.
Wow.
How about when you got
and I didn't pay for anything. It was like
Yo,
$2,000 for the surgery.
Wow.
Didn't have to
Nate?
pay for
That's
anything
so
else.
funny. As Nate made this comment, I was about to talk about it when
Yeah.
when you got airlifted from
Yo,
the
but
track, mini
you know,
GP.
the shitty thing with that one when they airlifted me that time, I high sided on the 150R out of that first
Yeah.
right left thing at NJMP, and the reason that they airlifted me was because my neck hurts, but I just knocked the wind out of myself and hit my head on the ground. I didn't break anything, but
No, but
as
you
soon
told
as
them
I
your
said
neck
my
hurt,
neck hurt,
yeah.
it they were like, don't move,
Yeah.
whatever, and then they didn't give me a choice. They were like, well, you can either fly out from here or that's it. That's your choice here, and that was it.
Damn.
They didn't even talk to my mom. I was 13, 14. They didn't ask my mom, I don't think. Or, I don't know what they did. I don't really
They just wanted
remember.
to fly the helicopter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all they wanted. They were hard on. They wanted to
Dude,
fly a helicopter.
And the worst part is I was laying on a stretcher with my face this far from the ceiling, and then my mom's sitting in the passenger seat
Oh, we
taking
know
pictures
how
the whole time.
claustrophobic you are from Summit Point.
Yeah,
last weekend.
and I don't like tight spaces at all. I'm not afraid of it, but dude, I don't like being in I start tweaking out a little bit.
Yeah.
And these assholes put me in the bed of a truck to get in Summit Point because we didn't have wristbands, and they're like,
when was this?
this
Dude,
was
it was
Saturday
in
night.
Matthew Chapin's truck.
This
And
last
there
weekend
was
going by?
so much
Yeah.
shit in the truck
Dude,
bed
and they
that he had
stick
to
the
get on
biggest
top of.
one in the bed of the truck that's full of shit, and they had a bed cover over it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm laying on top of this pile of shit, and they're trying to close the bed cover, and it's hitting my legs, so they're pushing my legs down to close the fucking bed cover, and I'm in there freaking out.
He's
Joe
like
Lamonde's
sandwiched
driving,
against the roof.
and he's swerving all over the place, messing with me.
Joe's
And then stepping on the brakes, and I'm sliding forward, back, head
my
first
God.
into the back of the
And
truck.
this is Matthew's truck?
Yeah.
I
Well,
hope- I
Phil's
hope,
truck,
I hope
yeah.
And
Phil's
then
not watching.
When they went over the bridge, it felt like we were stopped on the bridge because I felt like my feet were above my head for a couple minutes, dude. I literally.
He texted
and
me.
I was texting
wait,
him, and then I called him, and I was like, "Get me out of here now, dude!" I was freaking out in there because my face was touching the bed cover,
They
dude.
probably
He
saw
texted
your
me.
face imprinted into the tonneau.
Saturday, May 24th, May 24th, 9:33 p.m. Yo, get me out of here, LOL.
I was freaked out. Not freaked out, but I was not
I
loving
just
it.
disregarded that.
This asshole didn't answer.
Yeah, don't ever
And then
call him.
Joe
when
starts
you're in need.
swerving, almost immediately after I said that. He's shaking the steering wheel.
Yeah, it's pretty on brand for Joe, honestly.
I was so
You're
mad,
lucky he
dude.
didn't take you to the creek.
Dude, I got out of there and just went right back to the RV and went to bed. I was pissed.
Yeah, yeah, Joe's.
Oh,
That's
man.
funny.
Erica, did you see that video that I took of you with the checkered flag?
Oh, you took that? Yeah, she posted it.
Oh, she posted
Yeah,
it.
you took that.
I took that.
That was a
yeah.
good. That was a good thought.
I know.
you
I,
did
I
good.
felt like a good boy after that.
You were
taking
such a
that.
good boy. You're
I was
such
like,
a
you know
good
what?
boy.
I was like, this is a moment they'll never forget right here.
Yeah. Good on you. I'm proud of you.
Daryl wants to know why aren't you at Road America? So we did discuss that earlier in the podcast. Probably
Me or
like
you,
7
you think?
minutes in. Oh, you
yeah,
might be
but
talking about.
you know, if he wasn't here, then I'm happy to rehash that.
So what happened was, basically, we decided we're gonna save money and go make money in 2 weeks. So that's pretty much that.
Well, not only that. This is, with us being in Super Sport, well, first of all, Brandon unfortunately doesn't have a ride this year. So that's why he's not at Road America. We're not at Road America because we chose this year to be sort of like a developmental year, if you will, with all the Superbike guys coming down into Super Sport and all the changes and everything else, and the new Ducati's coming out next year and everything else. It just didn't make sense to keep throwing away money after money after money, and time and effort and wear and tear on the rigs and everything else.
And I also kind of sucked last time we raced. So.
And yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
weren't
did.
you weren't real happy at
Yeah, no,
you
it's
weren't real
fine.
happy at Barber. So
I
you know.
I like being at the front, man.
well,
But
only
gotta,
you can get
listen,
you there, Chief.
Right. You gotta keep working at it.
Got to keep working at it. So we're developing this year, and in an effort to give us more longevity in the sport, if you will, so we don't blow all of our.
So we
all
don't
our money.
lose the house and
yeah, exactly right. Lose the house, the RVs, and everything. Yeah. So like I said, if there's anybody out there that has six figures that they don't know what to do with, you're happy to sponsor a race team.
Anybody with six
Anybody
figures they
with
want to
six
throw away
figures?
is not sitting
No,
here
that's-
watching our
You're
dumbasses.
damn right.
So
You're damn right.
get back to work, boys. Come on.
Don't worry, I'll be
So-
back on Monday.
Yeah. Yeah, you will.
I'll be a millionaire in no time.
No,
yeah.
I've heard that before. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Daryl. It is a solid plan. I hope. Anyway, well, hopefully it pays off. But
Right.
anyway, what Gus, you didn't discuss your sponsors. We know we touched on Brandon's sponsors. So what about your sponsors?
My sponsors, Day and Easy, has been supporting me for a couple years now, and I'm lucky enough that they have stayed on board this year. HJC, as always, I've been with HJC for this will be my 5th season with HJC, so we have a really good partnership going there. Mob Racing, Dennis, he helps me out. He's helping me get their Evolve GT track time. That's what's been, I mean, at Summit Point, I feel like I made a big step with the Ducati and like my riding side of things. We didn't touch a clicker all weekend, right? Or just
No.
a couple things.
Yeah, second day we did. We
Yeah,
had some
it's,
prelude,
yeah, but more focusing on my riding. And Evolve GT gives me, and Azra give me the track time to be able to hone my skills. So I appreciate them. Rodeo Racing and the man on the other side here, Kev Dog. He everything I need, he's there. So you can't put a price on that. And GRG Designs.
Yeah.
GRG
Yeah.
Designs right here. Shout
Yeah.
out Nate. He's still watching. He made me these hats because
Hey.
I don't make hats. But yeah, GRG Designs. I've been working Monday to Friday, and I like to make stuff look cool and make a little bit of money doing it. That helps me, go spend a couple $100 tomorrow at the kart track so that I can be even more prepared for Loudon. So it's all one big, what would you call that? It's all a big circle, right? The money
Yeah.
just circulates.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, I look at GRG Designs like in the racing side of things. It's like a way for me to give product to people in return for money instead. Like, everyone asks for money and they ask for sponsorships and this and that, but it's like, okay, let me make your bike look badass, and in return you give me money and you help me go to the races. And it's been kind of fun, honestly, and I like seeing people happy when their bikes look sick. So other sponsors, Dudes Racing Lab, my guy Rich has been by my side for cute dates like dinner tonight to, throw in 4 motors in my bike at Coda. So, I can't really, I can't ask for anything more out of Rich. Even when my car needs a motor, like the guy's there. So, yeah, Rich has been on board since March of 2022, and yeah, ever since then, anytime I really swing a leg over a bike, I'm either calling him or he's there or just something like that. So shout out Dudes Racing Lab. If you guys want a super badass TTR 125 with an undercut transmission, hit him up.
Tony Pags might be listening.
So other than that, NJ Mini GP, they've been giving me some track time too. Shout out Marcello. Who else? Spellcaster, Cathedral.
That's all. That's all one and the same.
The family
That's all the
businesses
family.
that put food on the table.
That's the family sinking a bunch of
Luckstar,
Luckstar.
my guy
Yeah.
Scott. Shout out Scott, always there for me.
Luckstar's been instrumental in Brandon as well.
Yeah, he
You know,
helped bring Brandon up.
Pro
He helped
Brandon,
me. If it wasn't for Scott, I wouldn't have done my wild card in BSB. Which
yeah, he instrumented that
I
whole
met
that,
a
yeah.
lot of cool people over there, and we had a great experience there. And I feel like I'm forgetting somebody.
I think
but
you
it's been
both,
a while since I've been
both
on-
of you, big sponsorship is Evolve GT.
Yeah,
Billy
100%.
Sink and Brett and Mark and Alex and all those guys over there. When that was their inception, right? When we first started riding with them
Yeah, it was
up
when
at
they,
NYSC.
first started.
Yeah, they first started. I remember I still have that interview of you at Road America. Was it Road America?
Daytona, we did one.
No, that was Road America.
When Mark sent somebody out and did a video. I forget who it
It was Gray Fam.
Gray Fam did
Yeah,
it. That's
I lined
right.
that up for
yeah.
us. And we did one at Daytona. Or
Yeah.
I did one at Daytona.
You
I
did
didn't
one,
do
yeah, but we did
Daytona.
the first one because his first year in Moto America.
No,
and-
this was CCS. Remember when the 200 was CCS and Gus was there on the 400?
No, what he's talking about is
no, the interviews and everything at
Road
at
America in 2019 when they had the folding chairs on the pit lane. remember?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was the first time. That was the first time. That was because they had just started, right? I remember that was their first year. Billy, when Billy called me. Well, no, Billy didn't call me. Billy called Ed, who was running New York Mini GP at the time, and he said, "Hey, we want to go ride up with New York Safety Track with Evolve." And I remember calling Billy and saying, hey, you know, what do you need from me? And first time ever on a big track. And Billy's like, just get here. And I'm like, okay, but what are we riding? What are we doing? Because I prepare. I got a lot of questions. I want to know what's going on. He's like, I'll see you here. I'm like, okay, Billy, I really appreciate that, but what the hell's going on? What do you need from me? Just show up. And it was just like, he wouldn't help me at all.
Yeah.
So we went up there. We slept in the middle of we were going to sleep at Nino's house. We ended up, you know what? We'd be better off to go to the track and wait there because we had no idea what was going on. I was stressing it. We pull up and we're sleeping in the grass, all cocked in the RV. Showed up and he rides Brett's 250, a little Ninja 250 for the first time, and that was it. We were off to the races at that point.
Oh yeah,
And
we
then-
were in between rounds, right, or something.
Yeah, we had just finished New York Mini
Yeah.
GP, and then we went up to
That was
Evolve.
that wasn't 2019.
no, that was
like 2016 or
16 or
17.
17, yeah.
17
Yeah,
maybe?
yeah. But then 19, I mean, they were still on board. They still
Yeah.
are on board to this day.
Yeah.
You know, they sent they got Gray Fan to make the video, and that was the first real racer video that they did from you guys there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Pretty
just
crazy.
popped up in my
You know
feeds.
what? Every nice thing I said about Marcello on this podcast, I actually take back.
Why?
Because he's not coming to the track tomorrow.
What?
Damn, that means I gotta
Unreal.
get stuff for Nino.
I'm getting notifications. Paul Alley is watching.
Yo,
Big
Big
Bird's in
Bird,
the
what's
house.
up? That
Also, we got a question. What model Rolex did you win from Daytona?
He won 2.
I mean,
isn't
it's
it
just-
the Daytona?
yeah, it's the Rolex Daytona. Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
I just got a marketplace question. It said, "What's the bolt pattern on these 5-on-5 rims that you're selling?"
Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah. What's the bolt pattern? It says 5-on-5 right there. So, no offense.
Can't fix stupid Kev
yeah,
dog.
no offense. But anyway, so what else we got, boys? Because it's we're an hour
That's about
16
it.
in.
That's an
about
hour
it.
16, man. Any
Yeah.
more? Any last
Any
questions? Give it like
questions?
another minute or so. Type them Johnnies up.
Type them Johnnies up. So in the meanwhile, the boys will be riding at New Jersey.
Wait a second.
On the quad.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Go ahead.
Who asked about the Rolex Tub Vang?
Why are you so like? What?
But we also have Vey Vang.
Maybe it's his cousin.
And he also said FFF Vey. Is there some sort of...
Is that a
Now I got to go stalk your profile here, buddy.
is that a maybe
Why can't I click on it?
a trolling page?
Let me click on
What's up with
anything.
this?
Maybe a trolling
Maybe
page?
it is Vey.
Wait,
so what kind of Rolex did you win?
Daytona.
It's the
Two-tone
Rolex Daytona,
Daytona.
brother.
It's called a Daytona.
I got the
Like,
full X here.
Here, let me
Yeah.
see that. Thank you.
Stop banging the table, for the love of God.
Oh, it's a chronograph?
No, he's got this... he's got this stupid band on here.
yeah. You want to know what?
So
Dude, this guy has a freaking baby
Vey says that's
wrist.
his older brother.
Oh, really? I knew
Yeah.
it. See, I
Yeah.
caught that.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out Vey's older brother. Yo, Vey, where's that heat at, brother? It's almost time for me to post a reel.
Not for you. No, these fuckers stole my stock band out
Don't
of my
say
storage
that. Don't
unit.
say that word on here. Man. That's not cool.
Oh,
late.
dude, if
No,
I
yeah,
could
you got
find
it
them, they'd get
still.
lit up.
Wait, who stole your band?
So when I was moving out of somebody's house in Florida and my storage unit got robbed,
Yo, can we zoom
they,
the camera?
dude, they got all my shoes, my clothes, all my tools. My for some reason my stock band for my Rolex was in there, and I had a debit card in there, and they stole my debit card, and they caught them because they tried to use my debit card at McDonald's.
He's the type of guy to
Stuff
leave
that?
a debit card in
Dude,
storage unit.
it was in my
What?
toolbox. I don't know why I had a debit card in my
But-
toolbox,
But,
but,
like,
It probably- was it
wasn't
yours?
yeah, no, it was mine for sure.
Wasn't the company like responsible, the storage unit company?
So these guys, they only give you like a certain amount of insurance on the thing, and I was like, oh, it's only gonna be in here for a week or a week and a half, 2 weeks, whatever it was. It was not a long time. It was like 2 weeks, and I went in there, put all my stuff in, went there on a Sunday night to go to that Roebling test, like Monday, Tuesday. So I was in there at like 6 o'clock on Sunday night, drove to Roebling, come back Tuesday night after Roebling, all my shit was gone.
Unreal.
Dude. And then after I was there until like 2 a.m. for like filing police report and doing all this stuff. They find out like a week later, 160 other storage units also got robbed in the same building.
It was probably
an inside
somebody
job.
that worked there.
Well,
Shout out
so
Vey.
then
Thanks, man.
the people that had my debit card were homeless people, and the cop found them. They got arrested, and they owe me like 10 grand in restitution. But I'm never gonna see that shit,
Damn.
dude.
Nope.
There ain't no way.
Who knows? Maybe one day you'll get it.
I mean, listen, I'm just counting it as gone, but that did piss me off so bad.
Oh yeah.
Dude, literally, I got to my storage unit and there's like a lock on there that wasn't mine, and I was like, I paid. Like, what's
thought
going
they
on?
locked you out?
Dude, I had to go buy bolt cutters at Walmart to get in my fucking storage
They couldn't
unit.
even
Sorry,
help
I
you
need to
at
stop
the-
cursing.
You need to
At the
stop
storage
cursing,
unit?
yeah.
But
yeah.
so it was after hours. So like the people only work there until like 6 o'clock at night or something, and then they're open until whatever 10
That's dumb.
or something.
There's
So-
a little keypad. I've been to a storage unit actually
Dude,
recently.
Yeah, and so like I get into the building, and I'm like, see this lock on there, and it's like me and Zach Eaton, and we're like, So then we go
Damn,
across the
let
street,
me, let me,
buy bolt
let me
cutters,
shotgun a
open it.
beer before we
Dude, yeah.
before we start this
Yeah.
endeavor.
At least 5 before we get started.
Yeah, we need some beers before we can.
Oh no,
crack
maybe it
this
was
open.
Ashton. I forget who was with me. It was maybe Ashton or Jackson. Somebody was with me, and we looked at it and we're like, that's crazy. So we cut it open it. Everything's gone. All that's left in there is my trophies, my
You
gear.
don't want that shit.
And then there was like
Third,
they took all these
third.
clothes and stuff, and then left all like there was a RMZ 450 like frame in there, and a motor, and like a bunch of other like really expensive parts and stuff in
That
there.
stuff's not easy to carry or sell.
They
on the
stole one of my
street.
bicycles, my e-bike.
Damn,
Dude, they got me good.
that's foul. You feel violated after stuff.
Oh,
like that.
dude, I felt so.
I mean, you read
violated.
this last weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tell that story,
Yeah, you
Rich.
almost got your stuff stolen.
Actually,
Don't
I
be
never,
outside
I
guy.
never posted the Rich's side of the story here,
Oh
but
yeah.
yeah,
So let's be politically
that up.
let's be
This is
politically
mine right
correct,
now.
and we want to make sure that
I'm
you know.
wearing this right now.
All right, so
This is my
Um,
watch.
we were at NJMP a few weekends ago for NJ Mini GP, and me and Gus are sleeping in the trailer.
Together
Yeah.
Don't.
in the twin size bed together,
Come on.
like a friggin' in a cocoon spooning.
A spoon cocoon.
So Owen,
Yeah.
Owen comes busting in.
No Diddy.
Owen comes busting, and it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. He said, "Somebody stole my bike," and Gus and Gus's inner Kev came out. I was like, "You in or you out?"
I was like, dude, go to bed. We don't got time for this
I was
shit.
like, "Somebody stole my bike," and I was like, "What?" I was like, "Is my bike there?" He goes, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay." So like, I rolled over and I was like, "Wait a minute." I was like, "Nah, I gotta like help him or something." I was like, "Let me just look," because I have a tracker on my bike. So I looked, and sure as shit, my bike's rolling at 1 mile per hour, like across the bridge. So I was like, "No freaking way!" So I put my slides on. I'm in my shorts, no socks. I run
Shorts
out,
down to his ankles, by
Yeah.
the way.
I run out to my truck. My truck gained like 100 horsepower that moment. I peeled out of there, and Owen and Matthew were coming the other way in Matthew's truck, and I just blew right past them. And I followed the tracker up like along the backside of Lightning where the garages were, and the beacon was stopped there. But I thought it maybe had needed to catch up, so I kept going. I called them. I was like, "Yo, the bikes are by the garages, I think. I'm going to go get security." So I go get security. They're just getting in their truck after Owen called them, probably like, I don't know, 10 minutes before that.
Well, yeah, I mean, not if it was an inside job
So,
or not. But.
Stop.
Politically correct. So I get them. I'm like, I know where the bikes are. Flip around, come flying back up, and they at that point they had pushed them through like the chicane on the access road, and they must have saw me coming back up, so they went into the woods. That's along Dividing Creek Road there, and I just whipped my truck into the woods and ran out.
We need some more emphasis on this because it's a pretty crazy story.
I ran
and you're
out of my
describing
truck,
it not
full
crazy.
steam, slides, shorts, in my pajamas, pretty much.
Yelled some crazy words
Were
into
they
that
the
woods
were they the were
that
they
we
the,
can't repeat on here.
were they the and one shorts?
Yep, the yellow and gray ones. Yeah, those,
Yeah,
that's why I
yeah,
said they were down to his
yeah.
ankles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, just ran through the woods. Owen's bike's laying on the ground. My bike's laying up against the fence, and I was like, "Where the hell are you people?" They
You
must have
people.
saw me.
He
They must have
definitely
saw
said
me
you
run
people. He
through. They must
definitely
have saw
said
me
you
run
people.
into the woods, or pull into the woods and just.
They probably
drop
saw the
bikes
headlights and
ran.
they
Yeah.
just dropped
they,
it.
They
But
saw me coming up the road. They went into the woods to hide, and then they saw me pull into the woods, and they ran. And
So you stood there and yelled, "Where the hell are you people?"
No, that
I was
is
gonna
not at
say.
all what he said.
I had a few
A version of that.
Right,
choice
but you
words.
said,
That's
but
not-
you said, where are you? Like,
No,
as if,
he
as if
didn't.
they
I was
were
ready
gonna
to-
say,
I was
oh,
ready
we're,
to-
we're over here.
No, I was
we're
ready.
here,
I was
Rich.
ready to square up or get shot or something.
Both
like,
of which very possible.
I
no,
really like ran into the woods. Like I was like, I'm gonna start hearing gunshots ring out at me right now.
So basically,
I'm not done, bro.
no, I
So-
wanted to add a key point into that.
Go ahead.
That is definitely not what you said when you ran
No,
into
no,
that
no, no.
woods.
I
we're
was
not
like,
gonna
Yeah,
go
I
any-
was,
no,
not
no,
gonna
no,
go
I
any
know.
further,
That's not
yeah.
what he said.
I was cursing up a storm. So,
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to keep it PG.
Meanwhile, I was catching Z's.
Yeah. And
Yeah, Gus doesn't even get out of bed.
so
I posted about it
the
though.
security
Give
pulls
it
up
zero
behind me.
shits.
Owen and Matthew and Rocco pull up behind me. We're getting the bikes out of the woods, and here comes this silver Tundra with like the shadiest looking landscaping trail you ever seen. Had like corrugated metal up the sides, no roof, no back,
And that's when Rich shot him.
and yo, I don't know.
No.
Should have.
They said that they were shining a green laser beam out the window, which I could only
Which-
imagine as a green dot on a gun.
They can't afford that anyway,
I
so
don't- hey,
that's
if it's
not what it
stolen,
was.
I mean, hey. So
You're right.
either way, like Silver Tacoma near NJMP, keep your eyes open.
Kill him.
Silver Tacoma with the trailer.
You know how many silver
What?
Tacomas
Like a
are probably
shitty,
around
There's
landscape.
a lot of
Yeah,
silver
yeah.
Tacomas. That was like the base color.
here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
We're just gonna be yelling at every silver
Was it an
Tacoma.
older one?
no, it wasn't a Tacoma, it was a Tundra.
every
It was
silver
like I would say
Tundra.
like what was that like
Whose phone is
second
on?
or third generation Tacoma
Brandon.
Tundra,
Turn
Both
the
of us.
volume down.
like
It's Brandon.
07,
No, you're the one
07
playing the
to
live stream.
10-ish.
No, but my volume's
Um,
Mute the volume.
My volume's
Sorry.
off too.
Go ahead, Rich. I'm sorry.
And yeah, so the next day the security guard wakes me up. I'm, you know, that once we get the bikes back, cops come. We look at the cameras. There's nothing. Somehow, they knew where the blind spot of the cameras were. They pushed them through the blind spot, which was through like the grass, and it rained for a week, so it was mud. Pushed it up
And
the
that
hill.
camera caught at 110 who was coming down the bridge.
The
Security.
The security was coming down the
And
bridge.
when did the bike start rolling?
110.
No, it was 112.
Well, it pinged at 110, so my bike like moved. So it picked up my bike, moved at 112.
Still trippy though that the security car was in the paddock at Lightning at the same time that you and Owen's bikes were getting rolled out.
And then me and Owen were taking, I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram, but I posted a video of Owen explaining the whole thing in
Yeah.
detail with the hole in the fence and everything. And as we were filming that video, which I did not include in that video, a special somebody poked their head right up behind us in the woods. I was asking why we were there.
Wait, who? Wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Security?
The security guard.
Really?
Yeah. She's like,
You didn't even tell me that.
yeah, no.
Wow. So
Be careful at NJMP.
and
Lock your shit up at NJMP.
and you know,
Even if you're in a garage on Thunderbolt, lock your shit up.
of course the cameras by the shade tree garage or whatever they call them. Of course, those are dummy cameras.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Which is
Right, right, we
crazy
probably
because you know how
shouldn't be
much
saying
money
that.
worth of shit's in those
Yeah.
garages and they
Dude,
have fake
there's
cameras up there?
Millions and
There's-
millions of
Dude,
dollars.
I would never spend money on those garages if they have
Yeah.
cameras that don't work.
I didn't want to say anything like you know like
No,
publicly
well,
you
about it
plop
because,
a
you know,
you
like,
plop a
that's
$1 billion
bad press.
facility in that area. What do
Yeah.
you expect?
Well, you
you know.
definitely need better security measures than 2 cameras in a whole ass paddock.
And a security guard in a friggin' Chevy Equinox, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
so-
I always make it a point to put the bikes away just for this
Yeah.
very reason.
We do,
Well,
but
Yeah,
still
but-
You
other
didn't.
people don't.
Well, getting
No, I
back to
know.
that, after, you know, we look at the videos, cops leave, we get the bikes back, we're putting the bikes in the van, and I say, Gus, get up, we're putting your bikes away. Oh, yeah, whatever. And then I'm like, yo, help us put your bikes away, because there's a bunch of shit in his van, of course. Like, you can't just roll a bike in there. And he's like, I don't care if it gets stolen. Just leave me alone. Let me sleep.
Really?
Zero,
I was
absolutely
half
zero
asleep.
help. Zero,
a $12,000
zero help, yeah.
motorcycle sitting up against the shop.
yeah, but that's different. You put that shit there on
I
purpose.
goddamn
And-
right I did.
And Gus wasn't sleeping at that time, apparently. So don't wake Gus up in the middle of the
You
night.
He
can't wake
doesn't
me up
wake
for
up, dude.
nothing.
He does not wake
You
up.
can't wake me up
Dude,
for
let me
nothing.
tell you something. The
I didn't,
race
you-
weekends.
dude. I didn't understand race weekends. I'm always up. I didn't understand
Oh my
what was going on.
in his defense, he did apologize in the morning.
Yeah.
Who
He was
did?
like, Gus, he was like, yo, I'm
Yeah.
sorry for being
Good.
an asshole last night.
Good,
He's
good.
like, I just didn't understand what
I
was going
didn't
on.
understand what was going on. If I would have, dude, I would have loved to run into the woods after those
Yeah,
guys. I
I
would have
was-
loved nothing more
I
than
turned
to
into
just
I turned into Batman. Like real
that.
quick.
That would have been like that would have been like a highlight of my time at NJMP if
I wish I
got
was
the
there.
chance to
It-
run
it
through
was
the
a
woods
so
highlight.
after.
sad.
It was-
Because like like if you would have gotten the bikes, then like one of us could have maybe like ran onto the road and got
Well,
hit by the
like-
guy in the tundra.
well, like that's like a wet dream when you buy like a GPS tracker, or you get like a gun or something. It's like a wet dream to like actually like catch someone in the act.
Hey, on this
like,
topic, can I go
you know.
pee really quick?
No, we're almost
I
done.
got
You can
pee
hold it
so
for
bad,
you can
dude.
hold it for a
So-
couple minutes.
I'm gonna piss myself.
So,
NJMP is embarrassing
then-
lately.
And then in the morning, the security guard woke me
For
up.
real.
Somehow knew I was in the van, sleeping.
You probably told him
Because
that.
No, I
they
didn't.
no, because they were someone was watching us all weekend, knew what we had, but they didn't
Yeah.
touch my bikes.
They didn't touch. They only touched mine.
They did
and
not
Owen's,
touch
which-
my bikes.
Well, they
We're
grabbed the
wrong
wrong
ones,
one.
apparently,
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have grabbed any other bike.
If they
but
would have
mine.
grabbed Owen's bike and my bike, we would have said goodbye to them forever.
Yeah, even if I hesitated for 30 seconds, they would have been gone. They would have been through the fence. So there was a hole in the fence that they fixed with zip ties. I'm not, and
But they fixed
there
that
were-
Hey,
after.
next time
Was
a
the hole
bike gets
there?
stolen from there, they're just gonna go
Who knows?
1, 2, 3
Yeah,
zip ties,
so
and then that's the
apparently
30
there was-
seconds they needed.
Gus said that there was it looked like bikes had been pushed through there before, but
There was a log. Everybody that rides in the woods knows what a log. When a motorcycle has ridden over a log a couple times, everybody knows what it looks like.
It's like worn down.
It's chunked up.
But weren't they saying the security guard was saying something about somebody else's shit got stolen or
No, the
something,
security
right?
was like,
Or
"Oh,
not
this
security.
never
Somebody told us
They
that.
said that it had never happened, but people on Track Day Junkies, I think there was one guy that said that it happened to him.
Yeah,
Security
I
was
don't
in
know,
on it.
somebody-
Whatever.
I didn't see that, but I saw like somebody said something about Ducatis, but apparently that was like an inside thing with like their insurance or whatever. I don't know. Insurance
Oh,
fraud.
maybe.
I don't believe any of it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
but I don't believe in coincidences personally.
They do allow dogs in GMP.
But
What does that have to do?
No,
with it?
somebody
You could
asked the
set your
question.
dogs. You could set your dogs out there, and if
Yeah.
someone
Oh, yeah.
touches your bike,
Yeah.
they're gonna get their arm chewed off.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
We
Rocky-
actually
Rocky will tear
put
it
up Roku cameras in the pit now. In our pit, we
Yeah.
have it to all the races.
And the bikes still aren't in
Yeah,
there. It's
because-
just for all
no,
the
we
other
still
little
put the bikes in the
stuff.
trailer. That's
Yeah.
for
You
all the
remember
yellow stuff. yeah.
NJMP like 2 years ago? They stole that guy Tucker's camera out of the media center and
stole- I
someone
remember
stealing
that, yeah.
iPhones and
Tyler
shit.
Scott's
yeah.
phone got stolen.
Tyler
Brian
Scott,
Van's phone.
Joe's phone got stolen.
Yeah, these
Joe's phone got stolen. I
these
remember
people in
that.
Millville suck, man. Honestly,
Brandon
that place
sees
is such a
that we went a little too far
shithole.
with that
I
one.
mean, every time I
I
go to
mean,
Millville,
what
other
racetrack
my
gets shit
camera's
stolen?
out.
Listen, you know what? We're not close enough to know really. When you stop to think about it, I'm sure every track has its
Yeah, we
negative
only go
element,
there for
right?
one weekend, and then
We only
leave,
know
and-
what we know about Jersey because we're kind of in.
Yeah,
on,
we're
on
so
the
close.
inside
Yeah,
scoop. Correct.
And,
yeah.
like I told Brad,
It's
I'm like, yo,
hard.
this is our second home pretty much. Like, I don't
Lock
wanna,
this shit up, man.
I don't want to feel
Yeah,
like
and it's-
we're unsafe here.
It's tough on their end to keep. It's
Build
a big
the wall
facility.
at
It's a,
NJMP.
it's a big
Lock
facility.
them out.
And it is costly to put cameras on that vast, on the acreage out there. So
Yeah,
I
but that's
get
like
it.
the bare
And I mean, if
minimum.
you're-
Yo, that is
you're-
the bare minimum.
No, I
bro.
totally agree.
Especially
I'm
when
not
you got
disagreeing.
people spending
Yo.
that much money to rent those spaces.
And, and
Listen,
before you
can
repave
get
a whole
trail cam
racetrack,
from Amazon for $100 with a cell signal. Like,
yeah, and before you repave a racetrack, you might want to make sure you have more than one camera in a whole set. Like the track is split up Thunderbolt, Lightning, and you only have one camera in that's 50% of the facility.
Yo, but
Dude, I
You
get
only
it.
have
we
one
had to
camera.
use the
Yeah,
the
no, I
gas
get it.
station camera, right?
Yeah,
Not
it
even
was
the one on the building.
They're more worried
So
about people
there's
stealing
the
gas than
gas
they are
station
about people
camera.
stealing bikes.
Well,
Or cars.
actually, from the gas station camera, you saw the security car turn, like going back towards the bridge, and then you see someone walk in front of the trailer that's parked down the corner, and I'm like, how didn't you see that? And then they just go up the
Well,
bridge.
I mean, there's seeing something and choosing not to see something.
Well,
and
I mean,
not
it could have
seeing
been,
something.
yeah.
This is all a conspiracy.
We will
I'd
never
like to give them the
know.
benefit of the doubt, but
We'll never know.
We will never know. And you know what? They also.
And that is the second bike Rich has had stolen.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, well,
Well,
there
yeah,
was two at
yeah.
once, yeah.
And he never found the
150
first
yards,
guy,
yeah.
so he decided not to let this guy get away.
Yep.
And
the
what do you
wrong
Wasn't
know?
one.
having
This
it.
time.
Wasn't having it this time.
Nope.
You got him, Chief.
Batman won this time.
Hey, well, I guess we're winding this down, or I'm gonna
Yeah.
piss myself over here. I've been holding this for a
$1
while.
million townhomes. You're damn right.
All right.
Yeah,
enough
facts and
bashing. Enough
villas is
bashing on
crazy.
that front.
Yeah.
That conversation's over. let's move on to something else, or we're gonna wrap it up. or
Sure.
let
I mean,
everyone
we got
know?
the most viewers right now when we're shit talking, but
I know, right? Shouldn't be.
it's
shit
not
talking.
good for business, guys.
No.
You never know.
Just for the
NJM
record, I love NJMP.
Yo,
And
NJMP, I'm
same.
gonna be there tomorrow if they can take my money.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, it is a
But they
tough
can't take our
situation.
bikes.
It is
But they're
tough
not
situ-
gonna take
Yeah,
our
they can't
bikes.
be everywhere at every minute.
Yeah.
So
Yo,
you,
can you pass me the sound effects
can't-
thing real quick
Mhm.
before you
I
finish
don't
it
even
off?
know where it
It's
is.
right behind your
Mm,
computer.
I'm not. No, I can't reach it.
Dude, it's right behind your computer.
How do you expect me to get that?
It's like
I
right
can't reach
there.
around that from
It's
here.
right behind your computer.
Rich is closer than I am.
Grab that for me, Rich.
You know what?
That's not my sound. That's Ray's sound effects machine.
All right,
It's not
Ray. Well, guess
mine.
what,
I
buddy?
I have some.
Yo, I saw. So I was helping Squirrely Steve move over the weekend, and I meant to. Thanks. And I meant to tell. Oh, he's keeping it for himself. Great. I meant to say whatever. I was gonna watch your next podcast, but Squirrely Steve had this crazy Kiss poster in his storage unit.
Oh, really?
It was crazy, and it had
Really?
all the signatures on it.
Shit. You
Yeah,
get a picture
so-
of it?
I couldn't take a picture of it because it was, all the girls had their boobs out and stuff, but
Oh. Okay.
it was pretty crazy. And I was like, you know what? I know a guy that loves Kiss. And that was
yeah.
it.
Nice. Okay.
And then
I
it was
think every Gen Xer loves Kiss.
game over.
Anyway,
I could shout out my sponsors, Kev.
oh, go ahead, Rich. Who's your sponsors?
I guess Rodeo Racing on some level.
Yeah.
Dudes Racing Lab.
Dudes
Keep
Racing
shouting
Lab.
out your sponsors.
GRG Designs, yeah.
Yeah.
Scott Power Sports.
Scott Power Sports.
Who else? NJ Mini GP. of
NJ Mini
course.
GP. Yo, Swirly Steve's here.
He's been here.
Oh, what's up?
Squirrely.
Who else, Rich? Come on, you bring us down.
Vortex hooks me up.
Vortex does, yeah.
Yeah.
Ye-
Anyone else wants to hook me up? I need some Super Tech R's in the worst way.
Yo, he needs them.
And,
What
and a suit, honestly.
All right, so what are your predictions on this next mini GP race?
All right, I gotta go pee.
Yo, just wait a second.
No,
Dude,
go ahead. Let him go.
Jesus.
Let him
I've
go
been
pee.
waiting, dude.
Let him
I'm
go
gonna-
pee. Let
I'm
him go
gonna
pee.
All right, forget him then.
We'll be
What-
here.
All right,
Go
come
ahead.
on, Rich. What are we thinking for the next mini GP race? You gonna win or what?
I think F1 I got in the bag. Stockman 25 heavyweight. It'll be tough, but I'll probably. I don't know.
What about Motard?
Depends who shows up.
What if I show up?
If you show up, then you. If you and Joe shows up. Wait, you gotta slip it and fall in sound effect on there? 'Cause
I don't
was about
know.
to mention Joe.
That thing's pretty cool though.
I think Joe might crash.
Brutal.
Whatever.
I think if it's a stack grid, like all the boys will be there. Then Gus first, Joe second, and then
Me first, damn.
and then the rest.
Hey Kev, can you buy me some new tires for my 450?
No.
Hey Kev, can you buy me some new tires for my 350?
Nope. You should learn how to make the Super Sport tires work on that bike.
Nah, 180's
Some
crazy
Super
on
Sport
that.
tires can't handle all that.
Yeah,
Just saying.
Too much power, man.
not enough
Okay.
sidewall to handle the shock of the torque.
Yeah. Okay.
man. Especially with Rich on it.
Yeah, it's
Shit.
got to run like 35 pounds in the rear.
But all right, yeah, we're gonna finish this off. It's been an hour and a half.
Well, before we do, I actually little thought popped in my mind. We forgot Spiegler Brake Lines was your sponsor, rodeo racing sponsor. Spiegler Brake Lines, SBS pads, Superlight came on board, by the way.
Sprockets.
Sprockets, yeah, Superlight's on board now,
Shout out
which is
Superlight.
nice. Yeah, shout out for helping out the little guy. Big fan, that stuff. So
Thanks.
yeah, thank you.
Superlight.
Who else?
Hey, Brandon's back.
Hey, Brandon's back.
Who else? Just everybody that supports.
Yeah.
Anybody that buys graphics from Gus?
Yo, anybody that
Supports.
buys graphics from me, thank you. Anybody that
I heard, you know
needs
what
a
I heard?
vehicle
I
wrap,
heard
thank
that
you.
if you mention this podcast, the next time you call GRG Designs for graphics, they'll give you 10% off.
Hey.
Actually, I think he said 20%.
Whoa.
20% off your next graphics order
25,
if you
take it or
mention
leave it.
the Part-Time Privateers podcast. You like that? That's catchy, is it not?
20%.
20%
That's my
off.
whole profit margin
That's
right
no,
there.
see, well, I won't tell them that you mark it up 20% before you give them 20% off.
No, see, that's the bullshit you're on, man. I'm a stand-up business guy.
Yeah, okay.
Listen. I work hard.
I
man.
don't work hard.
I work well. I'm hard.
Really?
What?
Hey, yo.
What?
What?
Jesus.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Squirrely Steve, bro. Come on, man.
He's like 20%. I'm remembering that.
Hey,
Glad I
Gus
put
works
that
for
out there.
free.
Yep.
Yo.
Yep.
Oh man. But all right. Well, any last things? I mean, we got 20 people here, but it's only Squirrely Steve that's commenting.
This guy, we had a lot of viewers.
Get
We did have a lot of viewers.
Off
So
your wallet, Gus.
It's too thick.
Yo.
He can't.
Gus just bought me dinner, so.
Did you
He
buy?
did get off his wallet.
You feeling all right?
And I also saved 10 kids from a burning home on the way home. So
Yeah.
I don't know about
what a
that.
guy.
How does that even a thing? Explain.
Basically, there was a house fire on the way home, and Rich said, "Yo, Gus, I'm pulling up. You got to get out and get these kids out of the house." Next thing you know, I'm in the fire.
I
getting the
gave him
kids
a
out of the
boost
house.
up to the window.
Yep, and the kids are all safe now. So
That's how my jacket got charred here.
What are you talking
yeah,
about?
and that's all. You see all these little holes in my shirt. It's
I checked your
burnt.
location. You were at the
Charred.
pizza place.
It was right next to the pizza
It's
place.
right next to the
Oh,
pizza
okay.
place, man.
I see. Okay.
My gosh, God bless them all. They're all safe.
He wasn't.
Thanks
He
to
did,
me.
of course, he's not going to take his phone into a burning home, Kev.
Oh, my bad. So he dropped the phone off at the pizza place.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
You're
Right.
ran 2 doors down to
Right.
the flaming building.
Yep.
Yeah, it
Got
was
it.
right over there by Nino's in town. You know, it was burning.
Really?
It was burning. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Who's this
I
bobblehead?
took care of that.
That
That's-
bobblehead. That's
Looks like
Ray.
Harrison Ford.
That's the
uh,
guy that's obsessed with Kiss.
Yeah.
Oh. He don't look like a Kiss
The
guy.
guy. He does not look like a Kiss guy, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I told you. Oh wait, I was talking to Steve about it. I was like, you would never guess that his dining room is Kiss themed.
I know.
Jeez.
His whole dining room's Kiss.
Is
Crazy.
he a Gen Xer?
He paid like $13,000 to go and be Gene Simmons's
I
roadie.
was telling
For a
Steve
day.
about that.
Oh my God.
He paid $13,000.
What an
But he
idiot.
can't help out a small, struggling race team.
Hell no, no.
Yo,
now,
13 grand, man. That's tires for the weekend. So
Hell yeah.
come on.
Now, if I told him I was, DraftKings and you can bet with me for the races, I'd have all his money.
You'd have mine too.
Yeah.
You'd have mine too, my friend.
Anyway, so this
All
is the
right.
Part-Time Privateer podcast. I don't know if it's going to happen again, if I can get these two
That was
knuckleheads in a room
part-time
again.
professional.
Part-Time Privateer podcast.
I thought it was part-time professionals.
I mean, we could put another Part-Time Professional
That's
Privateer
all
podcast if you'd like.
PPP.
The 4
I mean,
Ps,
this
the
guy
4
loves
Ps.
PPs. So
Yeah, PPs.
Coming
Yeah.
from you, brother.
I'll make a new graphic.
I know
It'll-
you are, but what am I type
for,
energy?
for
over
the
here?
next one, it'll be
Oh,
the.
we'll see tonight when I'm sleeping in your bed.
Oh, Jesus!
Not happening. I'm putting him in the
God.
basement.
Oh
I'm putting
my
him in the
God.
basement.
Wait, isn't Barb supposed to come over?
What was that? Yeah, no, you're not sleeping in my bed, buddy.
No,
Come
that's enough
on.
of that.
You're gonna sleep
So
with
anyway,
these
am I-
guys. That's gonna be my cat on your ass, boy.
What?
All right.
Anyway,
Let's
so
wrap-
am I
let's
changing?
wrap this
Yo,
up.
am I changing it for next time? We're gonna call it the Privateer
No,
Professional.
forget it.
Part-
Forget it. It's
Oh, they don't want to do it anymore. Forget it. All right, guys.
Forget it.
So all of you folks who like this podcast tonight, be sure to let these knuckleheads know that there is an actual group of folks that kind of like this stuff, the behind the scenes stuff, and we've been saying it forever. You know, Ryan Fleming and I remember we first talked about mini GP that somebody should do something behind the scenes, and yet we do it and then it kind of disappears and we never stick with it.
Hey, this is our third one.
This is your third.
This is our
one.
third one.
This
yeah,
is your third
so-
one, but they're few and far between. They're probably every 2-3 months apart, if
Mhm.
not more.
Yeah, maybe.
I
more.
mean, if we could get some sponsors on the podcast where,
Well, you
know,
have to do it, otherwise
if,
no one's going to
uh,
sponsor, right?
because this hour tonight it was great and all, but I should be in the back making stickers, man. So we gotta make it worth it.
Well,
out
you
here.
see, you have to diversify,
yeah, dude.
right? You got to fire off in a
Yes,
bunch of
that's
different
why
directions.
discount code that Kev gave you guys, fire it up, and order some shit.
Yeah, there you go.
Order some of Brandon's t-shirts too. He's still got those available.
Oh yeah, what is that, Brandon?
Oh,
what is
yeah.
that tea?
You
Because I
wanna-
didn't even
you
know you
wanna
were
know what it
selling it. I
says?
didn't even see it. It says Win.
Kev, do
Yeah.
you, do you
Give him the whole
recognize that
rundown.
Win 96.
that logo?
All right.
No.
It says, warning, this product contains chemicals that could lead to the addiction of winning. Winning is known by the state of New Jersey to cause sickness and unplanned pregnancy.
What? Whose idea was that?
I mean,
Kyle.
me personally,
You know Kyle, my mechanic from last year with the
Yeah.
mullet? Yeah, him
Yeah.
and his neighbor Derek.
Really?
And they just made him and gave it to me. I thought it was funny. I was like, that's actually
Yeah.
sick. I mean,
It is. And
knock
you don't-
on
you
wood, I
never
haven't
know.
had any unplanned pregnancy yet, but you never know what could happen.
All right.
So are they coming to Loudon?
Kyle
plan?
is for sure, but I don't know about Derek.
Shout
Kyle,
out
yo,
Kyle.
if you're watching, Kyle, shout out. We're gonna have a
Yeah.
good time at in New Hampshire.
Thanks, Kyle. We love you, man.
Cool. Like I guess Gus is done. He's pushed the
given
mic
up.
away. He's done.
I think Barb summoned him.
Who?
Barb.
Barb.
Yeah, man. I got
Yeah.
I got a busy day tomorrow. I got to put in hard laps. So.
Who's Barb?
Aubrey.
Oh,
Oh, Barb.
I thought she was Carol.
Yeah.
I'm so
Carol,
confused.
Barb.
I call her Barb.
Yeah,
Got it.
she's got a couple names. We actually, I wasn't saving kids from a fire. I was actually bringing her ice cream. So.
Aw,
Yeah,
you're
I'm just
such
a
you're
sweetheart.
such a good guy.
That's me, man.
You are such a great
All
guy.
right, Kev's having too much fun.
I am. I like pushing the buttons back here.
No, but yeah, me and Brandon are going to be riding hard tomorrow.
Yep.
We're hardly riding or
All
riding
right.
hardly, one of the two. Because that's what we've been up to. We've been riding constantly. I was out on the dirt bike today. Tomorrow's Supermoto. And Loudon's coming up. So
Yeah. So
Thanks,
we will be
everyone.
at Loudon in New Hampshire doing the Loudon Classic, the 102nd racing of the Loudon Classic, and these two knuckleheads, Brandon Posh and Gus Rodeo on the rodeo racing Ducatis. No sponsorship from Ducati at this moment, but would love to have some. Probably not going to happen.
Get on board.
Yeah, get on board. If
Pablo
anyone likes to help
Giamatti.
out our racing efforts for Loudon Classic, definitely give a shout to any one of us, Brandon, Gus, or myself, or even Rich over here if you can find him online.
You're
all right, see you guys.
All right, we're out of here.
Thanks, Kev
folks.
Dog.
We appreciate everything.